on Fox Sports 910.
You made it to Thursday, Friday Eve. Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B from Twin Peaks in Tempe. Welcome aboard. Got you for the next 3 hours here on Fox Sports 910. We're presented to you by the law offices of Lerner and Rowe. Got a lot to get into today, as it's not quite as busy as it was earlier in the week with the Cardinals firing Cliff Kingsbury and all the other Black Monday coaches. I think looking at the show sheet and looking forward to getting on the air today, there wasn't a lot of big stories to dive into. The Sean Payton story is going to be there for a while. That kid yesterday. Yep. Suns shorthanded. We'll talk about that and their loss last night to Denver, which I think was expected under the circumstances. Denver Nuggets are a pretty good team. But outside of that, what else is going on in the world of sports? I don't want to get into Dana White. That's a week old.
No.
Which that's been a story on ESPN as of late. But really, this is a slower day in sports than normal.
It's kind of the lull before the wild card playoffs.
I think you're right about that. I think that's what everybody's waiting for, the playoffs.
It's mid-season for the NBA.
Yep.
Potential moves to be made or not made. Nobody's really talked about golf yet. You talk about the Waste Management Phoenix Open. Yeah, it's just right around the corner. And
you always talk about that. And my shot of glory on 16 yesterday.
Did you land on the green? I couldn't tell.
Yes, I did land on the green.
Did you land on it?
Okay.
Yeah, I liked it. I couldn't tell if you were. How far out were you from the pin?
I believe it was 137.
Okay.
And I had a pitching wedge.
Pitching wedge 137. Wow.
Yeah.
I mean, look at Rock. Look how put together he is.
No.
Man,
you saw my swing on Instagram. It was horrible.
I did see it.
Had a lesson this morning.
Yeah.
This is how sad it was.
Okay.
I pull up. I'm running late to my appointment, and my golf pro is like, saw your swing yesterday. I'm like, you follow me on Instagram? He's like, yeah. He goes, let's get to work. Sure enough, spent a good 40 minutes working on some things that I need to do. As that swing on Instagram and Twitter, whatever.
See, it's
that Mike Bauer took.
Yeah.
On our media day yesterday at TPC Scottsdale. By the way, they're getting $600 a round right now, and it's going to go over $850 during Super Bowl.
Is that right?
And that's to play. Not the stadium course, because it's closed during Super Bowl.
Right.
Yes.
It's Champions.
Oh, my goodness. Just to be in the neighborhood, $800?
Don't get me wrong. It's a nice golf course.
It is, yes.
But it's not worth $600. No. You can play Pebble for $600. And it looks awesome. The new things that they've added. We were fortunate yesterday. A lot of media members saw everybody up and down the dial, which was a lot of fun to see people you haven't seen, all the TV guys as well, and gals out there swinging the club. But I will tell you, the golf course is in great shape. It's not quite as high as I thought it would get to.
The rough,
yeah.
Right?
But I think that the new areas that they built for general admission, I think are pretty cool. And we'll talk more about that later. But I know you have with Pat Williams on the program 2 days ago. I spoke with him and pretty excited. And they 2-3 million they gave to charity last year.
That's correct.
I'm sure this year they'll get to 11 or 12 because basically all the hospitality sold out, and it's been sold out.
Yes.
All that's really left is GA.
That's correct.
Which you go to a Vans and you can get a discount going to Vans. You don't have the service fees. But I think it's going to be a very, very busy week there at TPC Scott. So what I think, if you had to pick a day to be out there, it's probably the best field they've ever had. I mean, Rory McIlroy yesterday.
Yes.
I mean, you got number one, you got number two with Scotty Scheffler in there. I do think if you could pick one day to be out there, it's the Pro-Am.
Wednesday. Yeah.
Wednesday.
Or Thursday, the first day? Maybe.
What are you laughing at, Jack?
The first day?
What are you laughing at?
Oh, my God. You guys cracked me up.
What were you laughing at?
I said Wednesday, and you said Wednesday.
Yeah.
It's funny.
So
the emphasis, that's a great day.
Our good buddy is Bob Kemp on another station, and it's Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Friday, Saturday. We love him.
It's a Midwest accent.
I don't know if that is.
With the Midwest accent.
My mom and dad are from Cleveland. They don't talk like that.
And it's you hear the folks back in Pennsylvania.
Wednesday, the Pro-Am with the Albert Pujols. Sure. Here's the thing: what's going to happen is there'll be a lot of late entry because people are like, all right, I'm coming to town for the Super Bowl. Might as well come in early. Might as well play a round of golf at TPC Scottsdale in the Pro-Am, which I think would be awesome.
We were talking a little bit earlier about this before the show, the traffic, the people. It'll just be Synergy Central in Phoenix, Arizona, all over the valley. And you talk about the convention center. We'll be down there on Media Row. And then you talk about Waste Management Phoenix Open. I think, was it 2 years ago, Rock, that Monday? That Monday before COVID, I think they broke all kinds of records. Might have been even last year on the Monday, the Tuesday, Wednesday. They were breaking daily records after the COVID year last year on a daily basis. I don't know what was the final numbers. Might have been over 1.5 million.
Yeah.
After it was all said and done. Supposedly it was close to 800,000 on Saturday, Rock. Supposedly, as far as they were.
So I want to make this announcement. We've been talking about it for a few weeks now, but it is official. It went active this morning. If you would like to join us and watch the big game on Sunday, February 12th.
Yep.
You got to join us at Talking Stick Resort in the ballroom. Now, this is how it's going to work. If you would like to get tickets, yes, there is a fee this year for us, but it's $25 in advance, $35 at the door. What's great about this, unlike years past when we open the doors at 2 o'clock and people are starting to wait in line at 9, if you have a ticket in advance, you got a seat when you get in there. It's not a first come, first serve. This is a ticketed event. Unlike Casino Arizona, where will be with Gross and Bauer and Jax, it will be a first come, first serve. Now, what's different this year too at Talking Stick Resort is we have multiple food options outside of our big ballroom where we're hosting the game. So it's kind of like a pre-game tailgate. And this year, we are very excited that there will be a meet and greet. There will be a Q&A with us three, getting to sit there and talk to Bo Jackson, Doug Flutie, and D'Angelo Williams.
That's great stuff.
All three will be hanging out with us, watching the game. We'll do a pregame meet and greet, where we'll get up there and kind of do what we do with the Fiesta Bowl and get up there with the mics and do a Q&A with the guys for about a half hour, 45 minutes. But, again, $25 in advance. You can go to Ticketmaster, or you can go to TalkingStickResort.com and get your tickets. This will sell out. We will open the doors at 2. Our jackpot, like we do on Monday night, will start at $4,000, which that money will be given out no matter what. At the end of the game, if there is no kickoff return for a touchdown, we just give out $100 bills. We also do squares. When you walk in, you'll get a set of squares, which are worth $25. We'll also have propositions, which are worth $100.
There you go.
You don't pay for it. You just got to be there. We pull your name out when there's a prop, first rushing touchdown, whatever it may be, we'll give you $100. So, and what's new, finally, sports betting kiosks there at Talking Stick, too. So you'll be able to bet throughout the game how long the national anthem is going to be, all those great props for the big game. So, got to be 21 or older to attend, and you got to have tickets to get in. And if you're going to wait, you're not going to get in. So, Ticketmaster.com, get your tickets, or go to Talking Stick Resort.
That's a going on right there, Jimmy.
I would say so.
That is on steroids.
I'm anxious
big game party like that.
We've been fortunate, and Jimmy, before you came on with us, in your past, all three of us have been very fortunate to interview some pretty cool guests.
Yes.
I was fortunate to meet, Bo Jackson when he was at the Auburn-Oregon game on the field and all that when he was with Cam Newton, which I thought was a really cool. Got to meet Bo Jackson. But for us to be able to hang out and watch a football game with him, or have a Q&A with him, I think would be awesome. And Doug Flutie, same thing. And D'Angelo Williams is a huge personality. Yeah, are you taller than him or shorter than him?
No, he is taller than me.
He is barely.
Yes.
We'll have to check that out.
I'm going to wear some higher shoes.
You will.
I
okay.
will. Yes.
You break out the platforms from circa 1975.
He's about 5'11".
It's our big game viewing party. We've taken it to another level. Lots of different food options, drink specials, the whole 9 yards. It's going to be so much fun, and there's going to be so much going on. Why not lock it in, get your tickets in advance, and be done with it? Because it's going to be so hard to get tickets or get into a bar, get in a restaurant. Unless you're having people at your house, hey, all for it. But this is a great place to watch a game. And now, if you don't want to pay, we still give you the option to go down to Casino Arizona in the showroom like we did 22 years ago when this all got started, when it was myself and Ron Wolfley, him and I were the ones that first started this. So when him and I were doing radio on another station together on weekends. So it's a great promotion. Bo Jackson, I mean, come on. Bo knows, right?
He does.
And especially if the Bills make the Super Bowl with Flutie there and myself there, unless San Francisco.
Yeah.
Wait a second.
Is Doug Flutie?
I got Doug Flutie doesn't even know who you are, man.
Or Manuch.
Well, he will. He will.
Oh, yeah, you know he will.
Oh, he'll.
Hey, Doug, I'm class of 82.
Yeah, no. Class of 79. Let's get that right.
Shoot.
Let's get that back there
I was
right.
covering Flutie. I was working in Buffalo at the old Empire Sports Network when he was the quarterback. So he and I have a working history together.
Mid-90s is somewhere in there, 96, 97.
That is correct.
When Washington was the nose guard,
Yes,
they came in here, Sun Devils, then beat the Phoenix Cardinals in those days, Arizona Cardinals. It was a Monday night or Sunday night football, one of the two. Yeah,
I wish this party was this week. I mean, I'm ready.
I'm ready.
I think it's just we get to meet Bo Jackson, but I'm hearing D'Angelo Williams is the guy. He's got a huge personality.
He does.
To be able to get up and do Q&A with him and have some fun.
And
can I give you the next big thing we're doing?
Uh-oh.
All this came down this morning.
Wow, right.
You know we allow people to guess the score of the game. And we give them a dinner certificate.
Right.
You know, like we've done Ruth's Chris in the past. We've done Twin Peaks in the past. Yeah. Well, this year, I decided I'll step it up a little bit.
Right.
How does a 2-night stay at Talking Stick Resort, dinner at Orange Sky, dinner at Tosh, and a spa?
Oh, wow.
Man.
They knocked it out.
Are you going to be able to get on your Rolodux and get us we had Jim Brown do it a couple years ago.
Man, I'll just start dialing up right now and say,
there you go.
Here's the package. 2-night stay.
I mean, how big is that? And then we're going to do one for our listeners, too. So we'll take time out of our day when we know who the 2 Super Bowl teams are, and we will have some fun with that. Have people call in, give their score of the game, and if they get it, the person who's closest will get that prize, which will be the same prize that we'll do for our celebrity guessers as well.
Jimmy, we've only had one person ever in 22 years, I don't know about the first couple of years, that nailed it. Yeah. That was Lincoln Kennedy.
Wow.
That was it.
Wow.
But we did closest to the last several years.
And last thing, I get all this laundry out of the way, right? We just launched. It just was unveiled at rockandmanuch.com, our brand new logo for the program. We figured he got through the training wheels with Roc and Manuch.
First 90 days.
Yeah. It was probably a good year now, and we decided to redo our logo with Jimmy B in the logo. And our good buddy, Jeff West, who is a caricature artist, did this for us and did a tremendous job. Yeah, we'd love to get your take on it. Jack's going to post it. It'll be the It's Your Call question of the day. Do you like our new logo? And we'd love to get feedback on it. You don't like it? Do you think they didn't do Manuch's nose big enough? Jimmy's too red in the picture. I will tell you this, that the process takes a while. And going through it with Jeff West saying, hey, the first couple pictures of Jimmy needed some work because he was really red. Because the photos we sent him, he's on the golf course. So, he said they had that sunburn going. So I'm like, can you kind of just dial it back on the red? Lighten him up a little bit. Anyway, hey, we'll talk about what happened last night with the Suns. They had just 5 players hit double figures as they got crushed by the Nuggets. We'll discuss it next as we're just getting started out here at Twin Peaks and Tempe. It's Roc and Manuch and Jimmy B. Fox Sports 910. It's always slow.
Meant for mornings. The Drive with Jody Ayler. Listen tomorrow, 6 to 10 on Fox Sports 910.
And going to get it. Jokic has it. Look out. It's a dunk coming out. Nikola Jokic slam dunk. From 27 down to 6. Now Murray. Good setup. KCP. Bang. Good ball movement by the Denver Nuggets early. Great vision by Jamal. Now Washington Jr. has been playing well.
Guys are hot. 10 seconds.
By KCP. Whacked it off Washington's foot. Now he's in a hurry. He's going to stop for three. Got it! KCP for three.
Tough one last night for the Phoenix Suns, a back-to-back in Denver. They have now dropped their record to 21-22, and they're just holding on for dear life here. As it's just too tough when you got no one to play. You got Torrey Craig as your leading scorer with 16 points, 5 boards. But he was 6 for 6, from the field, which was good. But man, what a rough one! I don't. You sit there and you watch, and you're saying they can lose by 50. They're getting completely dominated.
Yeah, they could have.
And what, it was 29. It's pretty damn close.
29. Yeah. I mean, it was.
I do got to give Suns a lot of credit because they're playing with nothing.
Yeah,
that is correct.
And it seems as though they're playing hard.
Well, it all came out. It was a competitive game until halftime. And they came out in the second half. That third quarter, Denver just put it on them. They just got after, and they did in the fourth quarter too. And you just were very suspect having Tim Kempton on yesterday. Get until 3:30. Things were just out of sorts. I felt that when they beat Golden State, they kind of caught lightning in a bottle with that
one night
with the second team, if you will, of reserves. And Mikal Bridges had a great game against Golden State, and we were just kind of curious, could Mikal Bridges have back-to-back games of 20 to 25 points per? He had 16, respectable, but he's just not going to be that guy. Torrey Craig, excuse me, with Bridges had 7 points. So he went from 28 to 7, and you went, damn, I guess he's just not going to be that go-to scorer.
I don't think he is.
Guy.
I'm watching it, and I'm saying to myself, Bridges, this is an opportunity for you to make a name for yourself. Just take some control of the game.
He can't.
He can't. He really can't.
No, he can't.
And I think everybody says he's an important piece of this team for this team and getting to the championship and winning a championship. I don't know if that's the case. He's been given an opportunity and he hasn't taken it by the horns. Guy's a hell of a player. And maybe he's just not as good as we think he is.
And I would say this, and I'll defer that. Okay, so what is being exposed with him having to be the leading scorer?
Yeah, shows he's not as good as we thought he was.
It may not be, or maybe can't handle that. Maybe
he's a defensive guy. That's it.
Defensive guy, more of a role shooter than a guy that can carry a team.
6 man?
Yeah. Well,
he's not a 6 man.
He's a starter. Yeah, I guess it's defense.
But is he?
Yes.
Sure.
He's a starter on the Suns. Yes.
Would he be a starter on another team is what I'm probably getting at.
If he were, say, on Denver, he's coming off the bench.
I agree with that.
Okay.
But his defense, he's all defense.
He's
all league defense.
I know, but then you get an explosion from him offensively once in a while, which is what we saw against Golden State.
Yeah.
Okay. And then last night, we saw that, he's not that guy. It's once in a while with his offense. Look, the Suns right now, they're playing with nobody. I mean, I hate to say that of the guys on the bench because they're playing hard. They're doing the best they can.
They're role players, and that's all they are.
That is correct. Yeah. That is absolutely correct. So, with the trading deadline coming up and having an opportunity maybe to make some moves, the one thing that the Suns desperately need, because Bridges is not that guy, is they need a wing player who is a scorer, not a shooter. There's a difference between a shooter and a scorer. Everybody said, well, look at Luka Doncic. He's not a shooter. He's a scorer. What's the difference? The shooter is the guy who sits outside most of the time and takes shots.
Yeah.
The scorer is the guy who scores from the outside and also challenges you at the rim game in and game out. He knows how to get points, and that's exactly what the Suns have to get if indeed they're going to make a deep run into the playoffs.
Well, a score from anywhere on the court.
I would like it to be a wing player. Okay, I think guard-wise, I think they're okay if Chris Paul is healthy. If Booker is healthy, I think they're okay in that aspect. They need another wing player who can carry the scoring load when Booker gets a rest, when Paul gets a rest. Hell, even when Mikal Bridges is out, because he can give you some points here and there.
And I think the other piece of this is, Jimmy, the other thing I would agree with that is that you don't know if Cam Johnson's going to be
correct
100%. And when he comes back, will he be that scorer? He's a hell of a shooter.
He is.
You can say
more of a shooter.
More of a shooter than a scorer. I like that analogy because now we know, okay, where's the scoring going to come from besides Devin Booker?
That's
He's a true scorer, shooter.
He is.
But with Cam Johnson, we don't know. Is it the end of February? Is it mid-March? Because quite frankly, guys, I think if everybody's healthy that last 2 weeks of, let's say, of February or going into March, you're going to need at least, 10, 15, 20 games of getting everybody back on track and playing together to find that rhythm and tempo that they had last year. And when you got to have CP3, hopefully he's healthy, and then Campaign, DA.
It's a lot of ifs.
Devin Booker, and then
ifs.
That's their 5 guys. You got to get them back on the court in order to get them back in sync before you go to that first round of the playoffs.
First round of the playoffs?
Yes. Well, they should. I hope they make it. They will make the playoffs. I think they do make the playoffs.
I don't think they will. I really don't. Where do you see the light at the end of the tunnel right now with all these guys hurt? They're under 500 already.
They are.
And we're middle of the season?
Yes.
I don't know. I mean, Nuggets are hot. Memphis has won 8 in a row. Sacramento.
That's the new hot
They're
team.
4th in the Western Conference.
Yes.
Right behind New Orleans. Dallas Clippers. I mean, right now, Suns are in that 7th spot. But, watch out for the Lakers.
Yes.
I hate to say it.
Once they get Anthony Davis back.
Well,
I still think Utah Jazz, despite them cleaning house, and we know Golden State's going to be there.
Oh, yeah,
they will. Yes.
Yeah.
The only teams that I see out of it right now in the West, San Antonio,
Houston,
Oklahoma City, and Houston. Everybody else has got a shot. Everybody else has a shot. Portland has a shot. Nobody talks about them, but they have a shot.
You just want to get to the playoffs. The only problem with the Suns, if they're a low seed, who you got to play in that first round?
Why wouldn't they be a low seed? Dude, let's get in the playoffs first.
Well, I know
they're going to make it.
But I'm just saying.
The thing is, 10 teams make it?
12 now.
12 now.
12.
Yeah, you have the play-in. You have the play-in with 12.
But that first round, who you paired with?
That's correct.
And we saw that last year where they got paired with
Can I go back and say they still could make the playoffs? Now it's 12. I thought it was 10.
Yeah.
Because there's only 15 teams.
That's it.
And 12 of them make the freaking playoffs.
I just gave you the 3.
I know. I heard you.
The 3
but it's that's just asinine. Seriously. Why?
Because
Adam
the NBA
Silver
loves money.
Adam Silver wants to get everybody in the playoffs.
You have to remember, though, that
I thought it was 10. I forgot about that stupid play-in game.
The 4 teams, those 4 teams will play against each other in a best 2 of 3. That's it. And then the playoffs begin. So that's how they came about.
It's almost as if you're decent, you make it by default, to that.
Yeah, I know.
Well, here's the thing. If the playoffs started today, 2, 4, 6, 6 teams are under 500 and they're in.
Yeah. That's
wrong.
That's it.
It's just wrong.
That's close to almost the National Football League's getting.
It's almost like being 500 and playing a bowl game.
Yeah, it's the same way in the Eastern Conference.
No, of course, but that's ridiculous.
No, but that's the way it is. How do you keep interest?
But at least in the Eastern division, if it's ended today, only 4 teams.
Okay,
4 teams under 500. But in the Western, it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 teams are getting in. They're all under 500.
But the West eats its young. I mean, they're like a lion. I mean, that's how difficult the Western Conference is.
But that's been the MO for the East, Jimmy. The last 3 years, they've been under 500.
No, the East, yes. But the West right now, who are the teams right now leading the division in the West? And listen to these names:
Nuggets, Grizzlies, Pelicans.
There
Kings.
you go. That's my point. It's not Golden State. It's
not Lakers.
Yeah, it's not the Lakers. It's not the Clippers.
Spurs, yeah.
That's my point.
Yeah. Parody, right?
Yes.
That's finest.
Yeah.
Looking for a new. That's Peaks, the 55678, and you'll be entered to win a customized backyard patio grill set courtesy of our friends here at Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light. Now, you can enter daily, once a day, and standard message and data rates apply. Coming up, we will catch up with Rick Horrow, talk about the business side of sports. One big story today is that the NFL, their sponsorship revenue hit $2.7 billion for this season. Talk about that and all the other stories. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from Twin Peaks Tempe.
This is what's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix.
PGA Tour pro Rory McIlroy announced his commitment to play in next month's WM Phoenix Open at TPC Scottsdale. The Coyotes hope to stop their losing streak at 6 as the Senators come to town. Tonight in college hoops, 9th-ranked Arizona battles Oregon State. ASU takes on Oregon. The Cardinals are scheduled to interview Bears assistant general manager Ian Cunningham today for the organization's vacant GM position. They also scheduled interviews for Titans executive Monty Ossenfort, plus Niners execs Rand Carthon and Adam Peters. And they're planning to interview defensive coordinator Vance Joseph for the head coaching job next week. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Are you living paycheck to paycheck only to find yourself going backwards financially each month? Nobody wants to file bankruptcy, but at many times, it's the best choice. The credit industry wants you to believe that bankruptcy is bad and that it will destroy your credit forever, but that's just not true. In most cases, filing bankruptcy can improve your credit. At Lerner Rowe Law Group, our bankruptcy lawyers only work on bankruptcy cases, and we can file your bankruptcy with $0 down.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Sun Devil men's basketball is better in person. Catch the Sun Devils when they return to Desert Financial Arena to face the nationally ranked UCLA Bruins Thursday, January 19th. And enjoy Kevin Shiflett, the chin balancer, at halftime. The USC Trojans come to Nedwell Court Saturday, January 21st to close out the weekend. Get your tickets today by calling 480-965-5812 or go online to sundeviltickets.com. Sun Devil men's basketball, onward to victory.
Where will your new Chevy take you this year? Anywhere. It's the perfect time of year to take your next adventure off-road in a powerful Chevy Silverado. Round up the whole gang for some family fun in a Chevy Equinox.
Hey kids, let's go.
Or take your night on the town by storm in a stylish Chevy Blazer. Make more memories and take on the road ahead, wherever it leads you. Find new experiences, find new roads. See your Valley Chevy dealers.
The NFL playoff picture is locked in, and your go-to place for wildcard round action is DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. To kick off the road to Super Bowl 57, new customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly. Plus, all new and existing customers can get a no-sweat bet each day of the wild card round this weekend. Just place any NFL bet of your choice, and if it loses, you'll get a free bet back up to $10. Action so good, why bet NFL playoffs anywhere else? Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code 910. New customers can bet $5 on the NFL and get $200 in free bets instantly. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook with code 910. 21 and over, Arizona only. Gambling problem, 1-800-NEXT-STEP. Bonus issued as free bets. One free bet issued based on amount of initial losing NFL bet up to $10. Eligibility, wagering, and deposit restrictions apply. Terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms.
Intelligence runs in the family. Innovation runs in the family. Extraordinary runs in the family. The Mercedes-Benz range of SUVs. Every member is waiting to impress. Learn more at MBUSA.com.
Yeah, it's all good, man.
Time to talk about the business side of sports. Leading expert in the business of sports. Author of the new bestseller, The Sport Business Handbook. Host of Power of Sports and architect of over 100 deals worth billions in sports. The sports professor, Rick Horrow, joins Roc and Manuch on Fox Sports 910.
Rick joins us on the right Toyota guest line here as we are live at Twin Peaks in Tempe. Rick, how's your Thursday going, buddy?
Good. Twin Peaks, your watering hole. That's great. Do you have that sign in front of your desk where both of you have like 13 chins between you? That cartoon there, that's a great.
Well, you know what's interesting you bring that up? A brand new cartoon launched today, and Jimmy B made the cut. He's actually in the cartoon, so if you go to rockandmanuch.com, or hopefully it's up on our Twitter page right now, you'll be able to see the new cartoon, the new caricature of Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.
Good, because I wasn't very good in math when I was a student, but I do know that if you add your many chins and then Jimmy B's normal 2, you get the normal number of chins.
That's so funny. My nickname has a pledge in my fraternity, Butt Chin.
Was it really?
It's a little Butt Chin.
The caricature capitals get well, Rock.
So, Rick, $2.7 billion NFL sponsorship revenue hit this year, a record that is. What made up most of that, do you think? Was it the Apple money? Is it the halftime show? What do you think took up most of that money?
Well, it's a combination of both, I think. And, the halftime show is interesting. It continues to be high. I can't wait to see what the face value of the most expensive Super Bowl ticket is. I guess we can find that out now, but when I'm there, I'll check. Last year, I put it in Lucite because I've never seen a ticket, a piece of paper with $12,000 on it. I mean, that's a lot of money for just one ticket. And the Super Bowl keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger, and I guess this year, as we know, the home team in the Super Bowl comes to a kind of dramatic end. I guess you guys probably don't want to talk about that very much, but it is, the season is mercifully over. And by the way, who's your head coach going to be?
Sean Payton.
Well, yeah. The unfortunate thing for Sean Payton is he can't coach 5 or 6 teams at the same time.
Yeah.
Because if you read the article, everybody wants him.
Sure.
And so he's much more valuable out of the game than he was in the game, and he'll reap the benefits. He's testing his value. And in all seriousness, I would love to be his agent right now, to be honest about it.
Me too. I mean, I'm trying to find out a lot of people in the National Football League, is there something in the NFL manual that says if you're going to, if the coach is, under the rights of a team and there's going to be, you have to give up some compensation for him, that there's a minimum of a first-round pick, or there's a minimum of this amount of money, or a maximum? Who determines how far out of whack this could get if, for whatever team is going to have the opportunity to have Sean Payton as their head coach to give up?
It's hard to believe. I've never had that question asked. The intuitive answer, being around the league, is it's a trade of assets, just like any other trade. And is it silly? I mean, if you and the Chicago Bears wanted to give up, their next 7 first-round draft picks, including the number 1 this year for a journeyman, it would be stupid. I guess the commissioner could come in and say that's not responsible. It would probably never happen. But there's no guidebook that can prevent you from being stupid.
And on top of that, Rick, I guess the only thing we can think of is John Gruden being traded to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and looking at that scenario as a precursor, if you will. I can't remember what was given up one way or the other. All we knew is Gruden finally won a Super Bowl with Tampa Bay.
Mm-hmm. Well, and the trade is exactly that. It's a trade of assets. And so you can trade draft picks, you can trade players, you can trade coaches. Al Michaels was traded by Networks for a cartoon character way back when. So there are contract negotiations that go on, and everybody kind of understands the value of a head coach in the right circumstance. But Gruden is a poster child for a great coach, reputation-wise, that got into the wrong circumstance. So obviously, you got to be careful.
Raiders gave up 2 first round, 2 second rounds, and $8 million.
Damn.
I don't know how.
Wow.
See, the thing is I think, Rick, the fan base here really wants Sean Payton. Now, of course you do. But is it you're not going to trade that number 3 pick that the Cardinals have? Why would you do that?
Why not?
For somebody, come on.
Why not?
That'd be stupid.
Well, why would you do it? Because a coach may have more profound impact than the number 3 pick in the draft. I mean, that's why. Why not? Is some people believe he wouldn't, but not every number 3 draft pick succeeds. Ryan Leaf, for example.
True.
So not right. So it's a risk.
But it also could be a cop out. It could be viewed as a cop out. Michael doesn't want to pay that money at that third round pick, or first round pick, third pick in the first round, because that's slotted at X amount of dollars. Maybe he doesn't want to pay that.
Yeah, he'd much rather pay $10 million a year to a coach. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, it just depends on his perspective of what a coach is. And Manuch, have you thrown that thing you call a hat into the ring? I mean, you could be. I mean, you're coaching material.
Well, and leave Rock and Jimmy and Jackson the gang. Are you kidding me?
Go, Manuch, go.
Hey, I want to get back to reference to
that. Yeah, I don't want to tell him to go yet. First, he's got to go somewhere. So someone's got to take him before you say go.
Yeah.
And the bottom line is that I know if Michael listens, I'm sure he doesn't, but if he listens, Michael, you can get him way cheaper than anybody else.
Yeah.
I mean, they'll pay you. They'll pay you to go. So
God forbid Michael listen to somebody with ration. God, there's a novel concept.
It's not gonna happen.
That's a whole nother show in itself. Hey, just real quick, have we ever seen a week of an economic impact of close to $1 billion, the combination of the Super Bowl and the Waste Management Phoenix Open? Anything close to a week venture with that kind of dollars coming into a community?
Maybe World Cup?
Well, yeah. I mean, that's a good example. Mm-hmm. But the World Cup, located in Qatar was big. But no, I mean, it's huge, and you guys always take advantage of it. And it's better these days because people understand now in the NFL, believe it or not, they understand how to even maximize more economic impact than your prior Super Bowls, which means that there are events that happen the prior weekend, not necessarily that Pro Bowl in Vegas, whatever you're going to call that thing. But people come in Friday, Saturday, and stay for 9 days, not just 7. And then you get Waste Management, and I know that there are a shout out to Maple and Ash. There's a good friend who is involved in Maple and Ash, and I play golf with the owners. And that place is booked. If it's a barometer, that place has been booked for like 6 months for event
2 minutes
event for 3 weeks from now. But since I know somebody, maybe I'll exchange access to that to you for like a parking pass. You don't have it.
Yeah, there it is again. Hey, with the Chicago Bears naming Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warner as their Warren, as their new president and CEO, you putting your name in the hat there? Easy job. Sorry, you got your deal. You're done.
Yeah. Well, let me tell you. I will say this because remember, Kevin Warren is in the book, and he's a friend. And you remember where he went to school? ASU. And he's a big lawyer. He basically drove the Vikings and the stadium. But getting a stadium in Chicago is not going to be as easy as people think. In the Big Ten, by the way, you're going to win no matter what. You're not winning or losing a game. You got a $7 billion TV contract. Everybody loves you. And so I'm not sure that that's a slam dunk. But yet, if I'm going to do something, he's a Midwest guy. I'm going to do it in Chicago, where you got Arlington with one deal and the city of Chicago trying to match it. So that's fun to play poker there too.
What are you working on? What's your next trip?
Oh well, the NHL All-Star Game is here, so I'll be here for that, and then I'll come out probably the Thursday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and be out there for a while. And I've got to divide the time between Waste Management and the Super Bowl. And maybe I'll stop at Twin Peaks. Are you going to be out there all week for your thing?
No, we will actually be at the Media Row.
Oh, you'll be at Radio Row all week?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, we'll call it. If you're going to be out there, you better call it right. It's Radio Row.
Radio Row with media. Okay.
Yeah. Right.
Yeah. Radio Row. Got it. So maybe we can squeeze. We'll try. Between Jerry Rice and Jim Brown and other big names. We'll try to squeeze you in.
Try it. Okay.
Oh boy! All right. Well, the good thing is I'll know where to park.
Yeah, you're going to call Derek Hall, and you're going to park over at Chase Fields, what you're going to do probably, and walk over to Phoenix Convention Center, I'm sure.
That's exactly what I'm going to do. I'm going to stay at the Hyatt, I think, probably.
Yes, there you go. Perfect.
Yeah.
Rick, have a good week, buddy. Thanks for the time as always.
All right, talk to you next week. Bye.
Rick Horo, the Sports Professor. Follow him on Twitter at Rick Horo. I do want to break down the draft picks and what's available for the chase for Sean Payton, because I think what's very interesting is you really got to look at what each team has to see if it's even worth doing and basically mortgaging yourself for the next 3 years to give up these picks for this year, next year, or whatever it may be. So I definitely find some time to do that today, because Arizona's not a clear taker here.
No,
I think who's got the best chance is Houston, and I'll tell you about that a little bit later. But let's get into our Chevy Random Fact today and on this day report as we continue on out here at Twin Peaks.
The big one. Sports 910 will be giving away the cash just for watching the big game, as this year marks our 22nd consecutive season hosting the game of the year. You can win cash at both locations. It's the return of our kickoff jackpot that'll be nearly $4,000 at both locations. Plus, you receive free $25 squares, along with the chance at winning $100 propositions. Doors open at 2 at both locations, but space is limited, so it's first come, first serve. Don't be shut out. Just be 21 or older and be present in the showroom at Casino Arizona or the ballroom at Talking Stick Resort. This is the only way to watch the big game. Full service lounges, great game menus, and tons of ways to win cash. It's Fox Sports 910's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.S. big game viewing parties at both in the showroom at Casino Arizona and in the ballroom at Talking Stick Resort.
Wright Toyota, the #1 volume Toyota dealer in the state of Arizona, ensures you a buying experience that will exceed all your expectations. Check it out for yourself. Located just off the 101 on Franklin Wright Boulevard in Scottsdale and online at wrighttoyota.com.
What's up, guys? Jason Payne, owner of State 48 Roofing. You can find me on Instagram and Facebook, #SexyRoofStatus. At State 48 Roofing, we are family-owned and operated, born and raised in Arizona. We'd love to give back to our schools and community. Contact us at state48roofing.com.
Looking for the perfect gift for your lady? Guys, us girls love anti-aging laser facials. And right now, you need to go to miracleskinlaserspa.com and get her a gift card, as they're running a $100 holiday special. That's 50% off. You need to jump on it now. Miracle Skin Laser Spa is located in the Paradise Valley Aesthetics offices at 32nd Street, just north of Cactus. Head to miracleskinlaserspa.com and take advantage of this incredible holiday special.
I'm Sarah Kustok, NBA analyst for the Brooklyn Nets, and I have a new podcast called NBA Pulse with Sarah Kustok. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'll be joined by one of the top NBA writers to discuss their latest stories, features, and up-to-the-minute news.
And the rainbow! That, my friends, is Luka Magic!
Check out NBA Pulse with Sarah Kustok on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
3 little words no parent wants to hear.
My tummy hurts.
And it always seems to happen at the worst times. Like in the middle of the morning rush, when you still have homework to check and lunches to pack, and of course, you're already late for work. Luckily, there's Pepto Kids. Pepto Kids chewables provide fast relief for common stomach issues, turning those 3 words into these 3 words.
I feel better.
Bad time for stomach upsets? Good time for Pepto Kids chewables. Fast relief for little tummies. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B want to take you back.
If you travel to the past, that past becomes your future, and your former present becomes the past.
A quick reflection on some of the more memorable moments in sports and pop culture. Time for your 72 Sold
Those are hot.
Day report. Get our price, a higher price at 72sold.com.
25 years ago today, Carlos Santana became the first Hispanic inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame there in Cleveland.
Black Magic Woman, great song.
Other inductees were Fleetwood Mac, Mama and the Papas, and the Eagles. So heck of a group there.
Yeah.
25 years ago. 57 years ago, 1966, the one true Batman, Adam West.
Yes.
It premiered on ABC, Batman. How about that?
Was the greatest show.
Burt Ward
Yeah.
played Robin as Boy Wonder, and that show was on for 3 seasons.
It was awesome.
That lineup was Green Hornet,
Yes.
Batman and Robin,
Yes.
the Monkees,
Yes.
and sort of other ones. But there was the Green Hornet was a great show. That's where
That was Guy
Bruce Lee was Kato.
Yes, Guy Madison was the Green Hornet.
Yeah, that's just some of those stars that are upcoming. But Adam West was always the true Batman.
Always.
52 years ago today, 1971, All in the Family premiered on CBS. What I would give for that show to be on the air as is now, with Archie being Archie and Archie not having a filter, not caring about politics, not caring about the 1%, and just being Archie. It would be remarkable television.
It would be. It would have to be on cable network. It couldn't be on the regular TV. It had to be on cable network.
Or Netflix.
Every network.
But imagine if somebody had the balls.
Oh my gosh.
To actually bring back All in the Family.
Oh my
gosh. In its real form.
Sure.
Not a political, not a anti whatever. It just say what you want to say, Archie.
He did. You
kind
could
of like Family Guy did for a while.
You could have All in the Family, the Jeffersons, which is very
that
crazy
too.
times.
That was great.
How about Sanford and Son to go down that road?
Bring that in too.
I mean, that was great TV, great theater, and you didn't worry about. Everybody had a sense of humor,
and everybody laughed.
Everybody laughed.
Everything.
We weren't so PC about it. Everybody just get over yourself.
Yeah, just enjoy the humor.
That was class. I think that 70s TV was just phenomenal stuff.
1995, the murder trial against O.J. Simpson started in Los Angeles. 2009, Ricky Henderson, the all-time Major League leader in stolen bases, runs, leadoff home runs, is elected into the Hall of Fame on his first ballot.
Yes.
Let me interject, Rock. We had a stat come across yesterday that they said if somebody were to steal 50 bases a year,
yes,
it would take 28 years for
Yes.
somebody to steal 50 bases a year to match where Ricky Henderson is right now. And that's incredible. All the stolen bases, 28 years,
and
50.
He's the greatest leadoff hitter of all
Oh,
time.
I agree. Absolutely. And he had power,
Yes.
speed,
Everything.
line drive ability, all the way. But I thought that was incredible. 28 years, 50 bases a year. The lost art of stealing bases.
Yep.
Random fact today brought to you by Valley Chevy Dealers. Tom Brady is facing more than just lawsuits for his association in the FTX. According to some court documents, the legend, the NFL legend, is among bankrupt crypto exchange's largest individual equity shareholders, as he's got more than 1.1 million common shares.
Oh, man.
His ex-wife, 686,000.
Oops. Want to get away? Why? I know when you got more money for 25 lifetimes, you put a lot into it. But at some point, don't you just kind of put your weight into the shallow end, and before you start to go out to the deep end? But if they got the money, I mean, and here's the thing: can you write that off?
Yeah, that'll be interesting. He's right up there. The FTX guy is right up there with Bernie Madoff and the Ponzi scheme.
Would they set up to $800 billion?
That was it for Madoff. Yeah.
No,
I wonder how much the value of the shares is kind of unknown. Forbes is kind of they previously estimated that the stake was worth about $45 million. But who knows if he actually invested?
Well, that's the key.
It could have been, here you go, you're Tom Brady, you endorse us, a trade out, I'm going to give you 1 million shares.
Yeah, good man.
I bet that's what happened.
Well, and that's
Could be completely
they're
wrong,
calling the
but-
Ponzi scheme, the fraud, whatever it is, from that. But when they're talking about value of over, $500 billion of what it supposedly was, and all the people that invested because of the commercials of the Tom Brady's and the Steph Curry's and all those individuals who are diving in going, hey, I mean, there was never the word guarantee involved in those commercials, those ads. It was or highly recommended. It was just them endorsing what they're doing.
Correct.
And that's where they may get off the hook.
Something to get into earlier in the week, and I keep been meaning to do it because I was actually pretty pissed off about it. And speaking of legends, Bernie Kosar being fired as the team radio announcer for placing a $19,000 bet on his former team to beat the Steelers.
Why is that?
So-
Why did that happen? I don't get that.
Well, what happened was he supposedly violated the NFL's gambling policy. Okay, even though he is just a pregame talk show host,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
So he had to publicly apologize. He even said when he did the deal. I mean, I heard the podcast. I mean, it was all going to charity if he had won.
Oh, okay.
But still, he gets fired. I talked to a guy yesterday from Cleveland, and he's like, a lot of Cleveland Browns fans are just so pissed off.
I would be too, but
2 minutes.
But the thing the NFL tries, or so they say, protect is insider information. He's the team,
but
the team broadcaster. What does he know? What doesn't he know? In order to place that, and that's part. If you're part of the broadcast, the overall broadcast, that net is wide over the whole broadcast team. Everybody, Rock.
I get that, but who are the biggest sponsors in football?
That's
DraftKings and Caesars and everybody else.
Yes.
It's just BS. That's
a contradiction.
Okay, it is a contradiction. That's the problem. I mean, he violated this gambling policy. Okay, I get that. Yeah. But come on. I mean, look the other way sometimes.
Yeah, it's well, and the other thing,
especially when he intended if the winnings they were going to go to charity.
And that's one thing I think where the National Football League's got to look at each case individually. And in that case right there, if he wins it or not, it's going to a good cause. So, and I just think that they're so stoic and so rigid is ridiculous.
Do you honestly believe that how many players in the NFL? How many?
There's 23, 55,000, whatever's that.
Several thousand.
Okay, and front office people,
Yeah,
right?
sure.
Oh, yeah.
And the NFL policy says all team personnel are prohibited from placing any bets on any games. You really think that if you live in a city like Phoenix where DraftKings and everything else is legal, you're going to tell me XYZ is not putting a bet in? Do you want to tell me that some of our guests that work for the team that do or either an ambassador or they do pre or post is not doing a bet?
Yeah, it's
I would bet that they're putting in bets. Maybe small ones. Maybe put a bet on the World Cup. Maybe put a bet on something else. Come on.
The contradictions abound, Rock. It should be a case by case.
Hour number 2 is coming up. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from Twin Peaks Tempe.
I'm attorney Kevin Rowe. Have you been charged with a crime you didn't commit? It happens more than you think. When your liberty is on the line, you need an experienced attorney that will aggressively fight for you. Lerner & Rowe Law Group handles DUI and all other criminal charges. And with our affordable payment plans, it's easier than you think to get the defense you need. If the police made a mistake, call Lerner & Rowe today. We're available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to take your call.
Lerner & Rowe is the way to go. Call 977-1900.
Where will your new Chevy take you this year? Anywhere. It's the perfect time of year to take your next adventure off-road in a powerful Chevy Silverado. Round up the whole gang for some family fun in a Chevy Equinox.
Hey kids, let's go.
Or take your night on the town by storm in a stylish Chevy Blazer. Make more memories and take on the road ahead. Wherever it leads you. Find new experiences, find new roads. See your Valley Chevy dealers.
On the free iHeartRadio app, you never pay to hear what you love, and you never wait to hear what you want. Save your money, save your time, and listen anywhere. Download the free iHeartRadio app for all your music, radio, and podcasts.
iHeartRadio.
Let me guess. Unknown caller? You could reduce the number of unwanted calls and emails with online privacy protection. The latest innovation from Discover will help regularly remove your personal info, like your name and address, from 10 popular people search websites that could sell your data. And we'll do it for free. Activate in the Discover app. See terms and learn more at discover.com/online privacy protection.
For wild card round action, DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL, is the place to go. New customers can bet just $5 and get $200 in free bets instantly. Plus, all customers can get a no-sweat bet each day of the wild card round this weekend. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app and use code BALL. New customers can bet $5 on the NFL and get $200 in free bets instantly. That's promo code BALL. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook. 21 and over in most eligible states, but age varies by jurisdiction. Void in Ontario and Ohio. Bonus issued as free bets. One free bet issued based on amount of initial losing NFL bet up to $10. Eligibility, wagering, deposit restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com/sportsbook for details and state-specific responsible gambling resources. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. In New York, call 877-8-HOPE-NY or text HOPE-NY 467-369. Eligibility and terms at sportsbook.draftkings.com/football terms.
I'm Byron Brown, the anti-lawyer. When it comes to your personal injury case, I'm straight to the point. I'll answer your call. No BS.
Byron Brown, the anti-lawyer. Call 1-800-ANTI-LAWYER.
Broadcasting from the Superbook.com studio. Superbook Sports, now live. This is KGME Phoenix, KESC HD2 Phoenix, an iHeart radio station. Available everywhere on our free iHeart radio app. Number one for music, radio, and podcasts, all in one. Here's what's trending on Fox Sports 910.
Tonight in college men's hoops, 9th-ranked Arizona battles Oregon State while ASU takes on Oregon. The Coyotes hope to stop their losing streak at 6 as the Senators come to town. The Cardinals scheduled to interview Bears assistant general manager Ian Cunningham today for the organization's vacant GM position. They've also scheduled interviews for Titans executive Monty Ossenfort, plus 49ers execs Rand Carthon and Adam Peters. They will interview defensive coordinator Vance Joseph for the head coaching spot next week. World number one Rory McIlroy announced his commitment to play in next month's WM Phoenix Open at TPC Scottsdale. I'm Frank Garrity on Fox Sports 910, available everywhere on the free iHeartRadio app.
Now's your chance to win $1,000. Just enter this nationwide keyword on our website. Bonus. That's bonus. Enter it now at foxsports910.com.
This is the Parker & Sons Weather Center. For your AC, plumbing, and electric needs, call Parker.
For your Thursday, look for mostly sunny skies, temperatures in those low 70s. And then for tonight, we're going to stay with those clear skies and those temperatures dipping down only into those upper 40s. For the Fox 10 weather experts, I'm Ty Brennan.
This report is sponsored by New Vision Auto Glass.
Looking through a windshield with a crack or chip in it? Call New Vision Auto Glass now. Qualifying customers can get up to $250 cash back with a free dinner at Rodizio Grill. Call 480-210-9090, 480-210-9090, or newvisionautoglass.com.
Calling all sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900 and always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports.
You guys are hot.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports 910.
Suns crushed last night in Denver, 126-97. Sun Devils, they're going to go at it on the hardwood tonight as they're up in Oregon to battle the Ducks. And Cardinals get an opportunity to talk to Saints head coach, former Saints head coach, but still under their umbrella, Sean Payton, about their coaching vacancy. But we are out here at Twin Peaks in Tempe. Rock, along with Manuch and Jimmy B and Jax. We got Benjamin, Ben, back at our iHeartRadio studios. We got you till 4 o'clock here on Fox Sports 910 and always on the iHeartRadio app. And if you're like me in my car, I like to listen to our station on 99.9 HD2 FM. That's right. So if you have HD in your car, then download it, or not download it, but bookmark it, press the button, secure it, and you'll have us in FM at 99.9 HD2. But we're out here at Tempe's Twin Peaks. Again, we have a great promotion going on with them as we're giving away a backyard grill set. That's a backyard patio grill set, and you can win one or win that grill set by just texting Peaks to 55678. That's Peaks to 55678. You'll be entered to win this customized backyard patio grill set, which is courtesy of Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light. And you can enter once a day. Standard message and data rates apply. Coming up in a few minutes, we'll discuss, about 20 to be exact, what's going on with our big game promotion with Talking Stick. We are really excited. We got Bo Jackson, Doug Flutie, D'Angelo Williams, all coming to our big game party, our viewing party at Talking Stick. So we'll tell you more on how you can get tickets now before it is sold out.
I'm excited.
About what?
About the viewing party. All that going on.
But there's this
Big
challenge.
game. I can't say that word. Big game.
There's this challenge, though, that you may not be there.
Oh, would that be nice?
If the 49ers and the Bills are in the Super Bowl, I would hope you could get a ticket and go.
Oh, I would too. Hopefully get 2 tickets. Hopefully get 2.
You're not. Why would you get 2?
Well, one for me and one for Lori, my wife. I love the brand.
No.
Oh, you kidding me?
You're not going to get 2.
Well, if we do.
I mean, you got 20 grand?
I have to take out a small loan.
Yeah.
Take out a second on the mortgage.
But you being a former Buffalo Bill and you being Brock Purdy's, quarterback coach, you would think he'd be able to,
I
get you a ticket.
I would hope so, and I would pay for it. No problem at all. I would pay for it.
Don't you think Lori would be cool with it if you went to Super Bowl without her?
Oh, she would, but she really go with me.
You know damn well she would totally have a problem with it.
If it was a
Whose girlfriend or wife would be okay with it? Yeah, why don't you go to Super Bowl with the guys? Have fun. You have fun.
If it was if I could only get 1 ticket, no matter how much, whatever it is, and then she would be okay. I mean, if it's all you can get, go enjoy it. Go cheer on Brock.
Then you're in the doghouse for a good 6 months. I mean, you would have to make that up somehow.
No, I make it up during the whole year, so I've got credit, Rock.
Yeah,
I do all kinds of good deeds every day of the week. You build that credit up. You kind of got to build all that kind of stuff up on a day in and out basis.
Hey, some of the top stories today, which is brought to you by the CAC Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. The Bears have named Big Ten Commissioner Kevin Warren as their team president and CEO. He's going to replace Ted Phillips, who's retiring after 40 seasons. And he had been the president and CEO for the last 23. And you look at Warren, who did a tremendous job at the Big Ten. Before that, he was with the Rams, the St. Louis Rams, the Detroit Lions, and the Minnesota Vikings. So he is going to have the opportunity to take over as team president and CEO with a possible $2.2 billion stadium that could be built there in Chicago and the first pick in the NFL draft.
I think for Kevin Warren, this is a great challenge. He's pretty much done all he can do in the Big Ten. But I love what Rick Hall had to say in the last hour. The sports professor, look, you've got everything set. You got your packages all set. You got this TV coming in. It's TV package. Yep. There may be a couple more teams you could negotiate to come in. But for Kevin Warren to go into Chicago and the challenge of trying to get that team, first and foremost, back to a playoff level, the stadium, he might be, I've done this. He might be like those engineers, always looking for a new challenge. Okay, I've already done that. Money's no option. I've got plenty of that. What's my next hurdle to go over? And Kevin Warren's probably one of those guys that was sought after and said, you're the architect of what's going on in the Big Ten. Would you do that here in Chicago?
It'd be cool if the Cardinals could have got a guy like that.
Oh, man. Well, president, CEO.
I mean, he's there for a reason. That is to build that stadium.
Sure, absolutely.
He was instrumental in Minneapolis, I believe, in
He
that stadium. Yep. So, good for him. What a great gig if you could get the Big Ten job.
Oh, no kidding.
You got a contract. You got the TV contract, which
it's already done.
It's already done.
Yes.
All you got to do is maybe add a couple teams, and you're good.
Would you elevate like a guy like Gene Smith to be the commissioner go from Ohio State to be the commissioner of the Big Ten?
Take a pay cut?
You think? No, he would take a pay. You kidding me?
No, the guy just gets paid well.
But
no, I would say yes. I mean that would be a great move for them. I mean, I know he was somebody that was possibly, and I don't know this by wearing a yellow jacket, that I'm sure he would have been or was a consideration for the executive director job of the Fiesta Bowl. Now, I will tell you, when I went back for the Ohio State-Wisconsin game, and I saw Gene, met him a couple times. I saw him in the suite, and I saw him the night before at dinner. And as the AD, the night before a game, he's just stopping at different restaurants and tailgate parties.
Sure.
Just I don't know.
Glad handing.
Yeah, I mean that's what an AD does.
Yes.
But man, I don't know. I always want to be an AD, but I don't know.
It's part of the job, Rock.
You got to go to
Part
that.
of the
You
deal
got to
right
go to
there.
that women's basketball game. You got to go to that. You got to go to that cheer seminar. All I'd want to do is just let me be the football, basketball AD, and that's it.
Yeah, that's that mindset. You got to just flip the script. You go, okay, I got to do this.
And
and
imagine if you're at a school like Ohio State or Arizona State where you have so many non-rev sports. I mean, you have 20, 30 sports,
right?
From crew to fencing. I mean, I know when I was at Penn, you had crew, which is rowing. You had fencing. You had sports like that. Sure, Ivy League type sports. But you have to be seen. You have to make it. A presence. You got to make your presence needs to be at these.
You got to be seen periodically. I know that at ASU, I know that when Don Bakke was there, he would go handle like these 5 or 6 sports. But Ray would go, like you said, pop in once in a while, just let them know that, hey, I'm not forgetting about you.
Exactly.
Track
you're not bringing any money though.
Yeah, well, that's it. So that's
track and field's not bringing any money.
But I know this.
You got to sit there and watch the shot put.
I know Don Bakke with baseball, basketball, and it was track and all those ancillary sports. He was always on the road going to those.
Yeah.
And then Ray would do his thing once in a while.
Well, you get per diem. You get to be on the road.
Sure, yeah. So you got to go do stuff. You got to go.
Some other NFL news. Derek Carr is saying goodbye to the Las Vegas Raiders. It's been reported, at least in the last week. But today he sent out a tweet. And he said that it breaks his heart. He didn't get a chance to say goodbye in person. And he said his time with the Raiders was a roller coaster, and he's so grateful for the support from the fans over his 9 years with the team. He said it's hard to go. It's hard to say goodbye because he gave everything he had to the team. Of course, he was benched at the end of the season and is expected to be traded or released.
It's interesting. You
Is
see
he your starter somewhere? I mean, guy put up great numbers.
Yeah, hey, what he did last year to get that team to the playoffs.
Yep.
If I'm a team out there that's going, you know what, we're pretty much dire need. We got to take a good hard look at him. I would. I look at him as a starter because he did smoke and mirrors. He was consistent.
Do you wait and gamble that he's going to get released, or you make a trade now?
Well, here's the thing.
And what is he worth?
The thing that cracks me, DeAndre Hopkins yesterday saying goodbye to Arizona via the Twitter, Instagram, whatever.
Well, kind of.
Well, yeah, but they
didn't specifically say he was leaving.
Well,
but he said goodbye.
He said goodbye. He said thank you, Arizona,
forever, whatever.
Yeah, but I think I've never seen where so many guys out there in the NFL who are moving on are saying goodbye before they're actually traded or let go.
Because the league is run by the players.
And you know, Ron,
Always.
a lot of truth to that. Like
that's fact.
The tail wagging the dog.
It's a joke,
and it's like Michael and I'm sure with D Hop. Now that might be part of the whole transition of the whole trade scenario to get some picks or trade him to New Orleans for one Sean Payton.
Makes it tough if you're especially if you are interviewing general managers.
Absolutely.
All right, so are you going down the narrative? All right, Mr. Possible GM, you have Hopkins and you need to make him stay. Or you need to trade Hopkins and you need to get this and you need to help us financially with this.
2 minutes.
With Hopkins.
Mm-hmm.
It's a tough route to go.
That hit 24 hours, and then he actually said something yesterday. We're like, wait a second. Okay, you're out the door saying goodbye to everybody and thank you, Arizona. It wasn't just thank you for the season. It was like, thanks, Arizona. I'm moving on.
Saints fans are daydreaming about which draft picks they're going to get if Sean Payton becomes the next head coach somewhere else. We're going to kind of break down some of the draft picks that Houston, Arizona, and Denver have because they seem to be the 3 teams that everyone's talking about. Could be Carolina, even though Frank Reich interviewed for that job yesterday.
He did.
I think this is interesting because I don't believe the Cardinals should mortgage their future, but I will tell you what picks they have available and what scenario may work for either Houston, Arizona, or Denver. We'll have that next. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Fox Sports 910.
It's Dom with Venezia's Pizzeria. We love providing great food for family gatherings, parties, even work meetings. And we make it simple.
We sure do. No matter what the occasion. At Venezia's, we make catering easy. You can see our entire catering menu online at venezias.com. Or let us know how we can help at one of our 6 locations, including the newest, now open in Chandler.
We'd love to bring Venezia's to your next party. Venezia's Pizzeria, a family tradition.
The big one is almost here, and the only place year after year to watch it is either in the showroom in Casino, Arizona, and in the ballroom at Talking Stick Resort. The team at Fox Sports 910 will be giving away the cash just for watching the big game, as this year marks our 22nd consecutive season hosting the game of the year. You can win cash at both locations. It's the return of our kickoff jackpot. That'll be nearly $4,000 at both locations. Plus, you receive free $25 squares, along with the chance at winning $100 propositions. Doors open at 2 at both locations, but space is limited, so it's first come, first serve. Don't be shut out. Just be 21 or older and be present in the showroom at Casino, Arizona, or the ballroom at Talking Stick Resort. This is the only way to watch the big game. Full-service lounges, great game menus, and tons of ways to win cash. It's Fox Sports 910's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B.S. big game viewing parties at both in the showroom at Casino, Arizona, and in the ballroom at Talking Stick Resort.
I'm Sarah Kustok, NBA analyst for the Brooklyn Nets, and I have a new podcast called NBA Pulse with Sarah Kustok. Every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, I'll be joined by one of the top NBA writers to discuss their latest stories, features, and up-to-the-minute news.
Rainbow! That, my friends, is Luka Magic!
Check out NBA Pulse with Sarah Kustok on the iHeartRadio app or wherever you listen to podcasts.
I've always gotten tons of UTIs. Cranberry products never worked for me, and I was desperate for a way to be proactive. I'm Jenna Ryan, CEO and founder of Eucora. We've worked with doctors to develop effective urinary tract health.
Hey, Manuch.
Just mix a packet of Eucora with water.
So we're not doing that clipboard report, just the bumper and the dry liner.
Eucora is helping.
All right, cool. Do you want me to come back with Purdy still or no?
Ready to join them? Get 30% off at eucora.com/radio. That's UQORA.com/radio.
The Drive with Jody Ayler, now in mornings.
Guys are hot.
Tomorrow from 6 to 10 on Fox Sports 910.
us to the curve. That's what it is. So that's really overvalued when it comes to British. But here's the thing. I think the top 5 movie trailers and shit. Everything is top 2019. And that's for them to know what I'm saying. I've been doing it for just 10 years. So they always say, let's get some more information. Get some real stuff. Coordinating against real pieces. And not even think money. That's the program to see there too. You gotta understand, so things can't recover after the rotations yet. Where you look at things in cash in the next stage. So if you look at the 3 teams, Texas, Phillies, and Rangers right now, this draft order has been fully realized, and it doesn't seem like what's trying to fix is where they're running. But right now, it's looking good. Houston has never to pick over in the first round, and they have the Cleveland Browns at the screwed. So I can see that there, right? And you sort of think you went on what you put this if you got CJ Stroud or you have to get what's his name? Bruce. They're both. So I would think they would have this negotiation right with them saying, whatever you're doing the Saints, you want to get player never thought they were real. The number 2 is that never thought it's a 34 and have 2 program picks. They're going to never pick down. So they're going to know that. Next year, Houston also has 2 first round picks, right as the league, right? So we already use that too. So they have those 2 first round programs they can have. They can do the former picks. I think that's what I mean. It's going to be, what's sure Pike's going to rule? Obviously, going to quarterback. That's not unless he's going to right side to the career, right side to the balance. So you don't have a there, but this is, I'm noticing what the same center is big time. Run on right side, and repeat that, and repeat that. Yeah. So if I have to sit back there, that's why I always say there's no any family that are right on the there. Saints can say, you can't have any 4 first round picks. That's it. That's what we're rules there, ethics, integrity, rules that put there, rules that stand. Who gets to decide if Rich can do it? Because he out there forming. Who's deciding something further footing on the sand from the 2 GMs and versus teams who say, hey, give me Rick down. You're taking it. Oh, you got some things there. But that happens here, but very soft. It's not the way I get Rick. It's even like cool. The Saints have that guy with Houston on the rookie. So I mean, they're really good at it because they're very well bred. Now, these guys are, you go to Houston because they got the best player, but you send them over here, they can send them over here. And then next year, I think it's going to touch up next year. So next year, do the same thing. So it's everything that we're really running through. I think it's really like a rip. You know, but that's your friend and give it 5 points. Rip. Rules, what you say, have so many rules to play. Listen, you're here, I know. Really, yes. We're like, what rules can others rules? You have 3 athletes for that right now. 3 and 8. There's second, third, fourth, and 6. That's it. 3 athletes this year, and then they have 6 next year. So Raiders want to mortgage anything this year because the Saints are going to rate as rich as they can this year with the Raiders. I'm going to say, you got to give me that rate. That's perfect. The other one broke up the Raiders before they got champagne. Trade my number 3 right now. That man is draft picks for me. Oh, I can cut for assets with that right there in my hand. They're here to be part of the Saints. I mean, trade crowds. They're playing something else. They're playing with them. They're going to put the second man on the program. First, you get rid of Keith Bryan for first. It doesn't sound like the same. If somebody fires for first, I got these 2 points. It's not first and third. You're 3 of it. Whoever I got you, Taylor, whoever I know, but then you're going to miss and you're going to get that 3. So I think the timing of this new athletes made sense. The top of 2 together with the 2 lives where everybody helps it. But the Griffins have put this after they're on 2 3 picks. When you get those 2, the Saints, and after they have a class of cash compensation to have, at least they're trying to get them to effective their picture. Yeah, right now. And real knows that they're not a GM right now. And they can go with the Rams today. Directly, just for this. It's not for something. But that's why I like you get paid when they're around. That's fine. All right. We're doing it again. We're doing it again for certainly. And for example, the first round pick, which is the 49ers, which could be 49 and they have 2 program picks. 4, 3, 6, and 7. So now you have a second.
Three minutes. Two minutes. One minute.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, Fox Sports 910.
What's trending on Fox Sports 910 Phoenix?
And here's Hines on the run back, breaking a tackle and taking it past midfield. And down the sideline he goes. This is storybook. An opening kick
Guys are hot.
for Damar Hamlin. And this place is absolutely going wild.
Still gives you goosebumps, but imagine being there and being part of that. Our next guest is and has been for a long time there in the community of Buffalo, Steve Tasker, the great Bills receiver, special teams, co-host of One Bills Live on WGR Boss Sports Radio, I'd say at 550, and he joins us now on Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Steve, Roc, Manuch, Jimmy B, thanks so much for making some time today. How are you making out?
We're doing good. Thanks for having me on, guys. I hope you're well.
So, Steve, have you ever been part of anything like that where a community came together like Buffalo did?
No, that play you just played with the opening kickoff going back, I've never seen anything happen like that had this feeling that it was something, supernatural going on. It really felt unbelievable, and you could feel it in the stadium. And I got to say, no, I've never witnessed anything come off like that did in that situation, in that stadium, with the Bills and the playing the Patriots at that time, and the way the things that happened with Damar Hamlin. It was unbelievable. It was hard to even put it into words.
Steve, it's Manuch. It's always great to talk to you, but that whole week leading up to that, it's kind of like the release or the explosion that almost needed to happen for everybody to breathe on behalf of one Damar Hamlin.
Yeah, it was a really, really difficult week. And kudos to the players and the coaches for coming through like they did. The positive reports from Damar were absolutely critical to those guys being able to play at all. And it was the whole organization was really, really up to snuff. Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott deserve all kinds of praise for the way they handled their team. Zach Taylor, the Cincinnati Bengals, obviously were also a part of that. They did outstanding work there. And the fact that the league was smart enough to just the word of the two head coaches involved and just say, listen, our guys can't play right now. We're going to have to stop this game. And the league backed them up on it. Mm-hmm. It was a huge move, and it's unprecedented. And you got to tip your hat to the whole NFL from top to bottom, and in particular the Bengals and the Bills.
Steve, it's Jimmy B. Steve and I go way back, including working games on TV together when I was in Buffalo.
And by the way, Steve, he's still the same size. He hasn't grown. He's still 5'1", 5'2", maybe.
We thought he'd grown up by now.
Yeah. That hasn't happened yet. Look, I know the history as well as anybody with the Miami Dolphins. And when Don Shula was there, they owned the Bills. And then finally Marv Levy got it turned around. Is it still like it used to be for the Miami Dolphins with the Buffalo Bills, or has that subsided a little bit?
I think it subsided because of the fact, because both these teams really were chasing their own division for so long. That's kind of part of the the point in history you're at. There's no question that there was a time when Bills Dolphins was really heated in their rivalry, and there are guys like me around still who talk about it, and fans who remember what it was like with Dan Marino and Jim Kelly and all those guys, and Marvin and Don. It was heated for a long time, but I think the fact that now both those clubs made it to the playoffs again and are facing each other, I think it'll heat. You know how it is, and when both teams are good and they play each other, it becomes a rivalry pretty hot. And this one's got some history to it, so I'm sure that'll get thrown into the stew as well.
Steve, it's interesting. I was looking at your Twitter page last night, and the first time you experienced a Bills-Dolphin game, and you talked about coming out of the tunnel early for warm-ups, and all the Bills fans are there just pelting the Dolphins as they're walking down the tunnel there. And my rookie year in 79, they beat us twice. So it was 10 in a row going into our opening game in 1980. And you talked about the roar of the crowd. When we beat them, I was like, 12-10 or something like that. And that release, as far as we could not hear each other from 3 feet away, yelling just the fandom that was there, and then finally understanding what that rival meant, and then moving that forward.
Yeah, it was a huge release, and certainly when they got into the mid '80s,
yeah,
with Jim Kelly and Dan Marino, and two teams that were going to win the division and be in the wild card and face each other in the playoffs, and go, they were both going to the tournament every year. It was heated, and those games meant a lot. And not only that, it was also one of the things. I think Marv Levy is probably one of the few, if not the only, head coach of a certain tenure who coached enough games in the league. He's the only head coach with a winning record against Don Shula, because Don's dominant. Now, certainly Don's got a winning record, I think, against every franchise he played against. But against Marv, because of Jim and the great players Marv had, Marv had a winning record against him when he got the job in Buffalo. It was bitter, for a while. It was those two teams. Not only were they at the top of the AFC East, they were at the top of the AFC, period. The Bills were in 4 AFC championship games, 5 out of 7 for a stretch, and the Dolphins were the host to one of those AFC championship games, and the Bills had to go through the Dolphins, and the Dolphins had to go through the Bills to get to them. So it was bitter, and those teams were really quality teams, and there's no doubt, with the teams playing the way they are now, this isn't going to go away for a while.
So you look at this team overall, and we've been watching them close, and I think that Josh Allen has taken another step in his growth. And Steve, we talk about this every year, but the one thing that seems to be lacking a little bit is that running game, and him not become the leading rusher as you go throughout the playoffs. Is that really the only thing you feel that they need to shore up, or at least get that off the schneid a little bit, is the running game in order to go all the way and come out here to Glendale, Arizona?
No, I don't know. Yeah, the people worry about the Bills not having a running game outside of Josh Allen, or at least the fact that Josh Allen is a big part of it. I think one of the things that makes it tough to stop the Bills is the Josh's rushes count. I mean,
sure,
you can go in there and say, hey, they can't run the ball. The problem is Bills can run the ball, and you got to defend it. And whether it's Josh Allen, Devin Perry, or James Cook, you're still on the hook to get in front of those guys, and it's not easy. They're the only team in the league up until week 18, and they missed by, I think, 4 yards of rushing for 100 yards, or they were the only team in the league that would have rushed for 100 yards in every single game this year. Josh is a big part of that, but over the last month, particularly in that game against Chicago, when Singletary and Cook went over 100 and they rushed for 2 Bills, they've really started to hand it off and do a lot better in the run game. I think a lot of that has to do with just their desire to do it. The Bills are a throwing team, and that's not gonna change. So whether they need Josh to run it or not is going to be dictated by each matchup. But they're certainly not afraid to use Josh in the run game, and you can poo-poo their run game until you have to defend it, and then you've got a problem.
Steve, what's the thought process in Buffalo about possibly having to play the AFC Championship game in Atlanta at the neutral site?
Well, you knew that when the Cincinnati Bengals game and the Bills game got taken off the schedule, and they were going to, kind of come up with a plan to fix it without replaying the game, it was not going to be fair.
Sure.
It wasn't fair for the Chiefs. It wasn't fair for the Bengals, and it wasn't fair for the Bills. Everybody's got a beef. The Chiefs don't get the AFC Championship game against the Bills at home. The Bengals and the Bills were robbed of their opportunity to win what number 1 seed. And, so you knew it was just going to be unfair on
3 minutes
level. But I don't think most people, once you get there, I don't think it's going to be that big of a problem. I think both those clubs will show up in a big way. It'll be a neutral site game, and neither team will have an advantage. And at that point of the season, I think both those clubs will think if they play their game, they're going to win the game anyway. So, it's unfortunate for the home fans. It's unfortunate the Bills didn't get a chance to retain the number 1 seed that they had for 2 months. But by the same token, the league had to do something, and I think they just took the best. They took their best chance at it they could. They took their best stab at it they could. And I think we're all with the alternative of having that game be decided by a coin flip or something, I think we're all okay with the result.
See, last one for you. When you look at this, so many your Bills teams went to 4 straight Super Bowls. You look at other teams that have gone to Super Bowls and won Super Bowls. Why is it and how is it this Buffalo Bills team is now built to win it all? What has been the added pieces or the consistent pieces that this team is moving forward to have that opportunity once again?
Well, they got the elite quarterback, and they've got a really solid defense, both. And the defense, up until they lost Von Miller, was really tough to move the football on. Their cornerbacks are getting better as the season progresses. Tre'Davious White's getting back to his all-pro form. That really helped them a lot. Losing Micah Hyde, although he's back practicing now, losing him early in the season hurt them as well. The safety tandem of Hyde and Poyer were really dynamite, and they really make it difficult on opposing quarterbacks to get a handle on what coverage they're seeing until well after the ball is snapped. That mixed with Josh Allen, the kind of year Stephon Diggs is having, and the weapons they brought to bear, all those things went into the mix, plus Sean McDermott and his staff. The one thing that they don't get enough credit for is developing the lesser players on their roster so that at the end of the season and from year to year, players that are drafted in the 2nd, 4th, 6th, 7th round are significantly better than they were when they drafted them or when they signed them as rookie free agents. A perfect example would be Levi Wallace, who was a starting corner for the Buffalo Bills for 4 years as an undrafted rookie free agent. And he just signed a deal in the offseason. Now he's been a starting cornerback for the Pittsburgh Steelers all this year. The coaching staff's ability to get the most out of each of their players has really been the key component to making this team competitive week in, week out. They're better and better and better with each passing week as the season rolls on. And even this week, you can see now that they're getting healthier, they're going to be even better than they've been over their last 7-game winning streak.
Steve, we appreciate the time. We'll see you out here in about 30 days, all right?
All right, guys. I hope to see you out there. Take care.
Thanks, Steve. That's Steve Tasker, the great receiver, special teams great, of course, the co-host of One Bills Live on WGR Sports Radio 550 and MSG. You can follow him on Twitter at SteveTasker89. He's driven today by All City Towing. All City Towing continues to grow. They are hiring in 2023. Head to allcitytowing.com. They got current, immediate, full-time positions available right now with incredible benefits, including a 401k program with a company match, a generous company match, that is. And the fastest way to apply is online. Just go to allcitytowing.com. That's allcitytowing.com. Well, coming up, it's time for this week's Twin Peaks Picks, powered by Coors Light and Blue Moon. We'll take the 5th caller at 602-260-9191 for our Twin Peaks Challenge. And you'll compete against Brooke from Twin Peaks here in Tempe for our $25 man card. The games are Seattle at San Francisco, Miami at Buffalo, Dallas at Tampa. And we'll need the winner score of that one. So jump on board, 602-260-9191.
Attention grillers, is it time to replace
Valley Twin Peaks locations, Scottsdale, Phoenix, Glendale, and Tempe. Don't forget man-sized Coors Light draft specials every Thursday at Twin Peaks.
You guys are hot.
Time for Peaks Picks.
All right, let's get to it. We do it every Thursday at a different Twin Peaks. Today we're in the Tempe location where our favorite,
absolutely favorite
young lady here, Brooke, joins us, bartender here at Twin Peaks, and she's been on fire as of late, all season long. It's probably your 5th time with us this year, I think.
Yeah, I lost last time, though.
Oh, you did?
Angsting over Rock.
I was going to embellish on the air and just kind of said that you won, and no one would have known the difference. But all right, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Well, right now you are competing against Paul in Phoenix. So, Paul, hang tight. We'll get to you in a minute. The games today are Seattle at San Francisco, Dolphins and Bills, Dallas at Tampa. Okay, so Dallas Cowboys, Tampa Bay Bucks. So we're going to start with the first one. We'll start with the Seattle Seahawks in San Francisco.
Saturday early game.
On the 49ers. Should be a big game for both, but 49ers are playing pretty good.
I'm going to go with 49ers.
Did you hear he said Purdy good?
Yeah.
Brock Purdy, pretty good. You got that. Okay, good job, Rock.
Does she know even who Brock Purdy is?
She knows who Brock Purdy is.
No,
Absolutely.
she doesn't.
You know Brock
and
Purdy
you
is?
think just because your first quarterback made it to the National Football League that everybody knows? You think Brooke is listening to our show?
He would be my third.
She's working while we're on the air? I don't think she's got her earpiece in.
Well, he'd be my third. Derek Devine with Seattle. Then you have Bryce Perkins with the LA Rams and Brock.
I never heard of that one. You're making them up now.
Yeah, they are.
All right, Paul in Phoenix. Paul, how you doing today, bud? Thanks for playing.
Real good, thanks. Thanks for taking my call. I appreciate it. Hey,
All
right. I like the 49ers.
All right, so you like the 49ers.
I don't really like them, but I have to.
The lesser of two evils.
Yes.
Right, Paul? All right. Second game, the Dolphins will be at the Bills. Bills play pretty good. Dolphins, even though they got a young man from Kansas State University starting at quarterback, Skylar Thompson, probably won't bode real well. But it's in Buffalo, so
I'm going with the Bills.
Go with the Bills. All right, Paul, what do you got there, bud?
Yeah, Brooke's right. She's right. You got to go with Buffalo.
It's hard not to. I mean, you think about it, spread opened at like 9 or 8.5, and then went to 13 at 13.5 when Tual decided he's not going to go.
Right.
It's going to be a long day for the Dolphins. All right, last game, and we need to score this one, Paul. But we'll see what Brooke wants to go. Ladies first. The Cowboys and the Bucks. This is the Monday night game, and it is in Tampa Bay. And believe it or not, they are getting 2.5 at home. But we're not worried about the spread here.
Okay.
We just need to know who's going to win and the score.
I'm going to go with the Cowboys.
Okay. Score is going to be?
It's going to be 34-17.
34-17 blowout there in Tampa.
And you think Tom Brady goes away in the sunset, huh?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe end up in Pittsburgh with your Steelers. All right, no. Paul, what's it going to be? Dallas and Tampa and the score.
We've got to have some suspense, right? So absolutely, I've got to take Tampa Bay. We're going to make this real easy. Tampa Bay 26, Dallas 20.
26-20. Put that down. All right, Paul. Hey, thanks for listening. Thanks for playing, man. Have a good week.
Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
That's
good
Paul.
luck, Brooke.
Good luck, Brooke. What a nice guy. What a nice guy.
What a gentleman, Paul.
Paul in Phoenix. Good job, man. So what's going on here today? Happy hour? What do we got?
Happy hour, 3 to 6.
Okay, so we're about 7 minutes away from that.
Yeah, we have daily specials as well. $6 Blue Moons today. Yeah, it's pretty nice. We got the windows open. It's a gorgeous day.
Isn't it a gorgeous day today?
Yeah, garage doors
They
open.
got playoffs all weekend, of course. This is a place to watch all the games. All 4 locations, soon to be 5, as the 5th location in Deer Valley should be opening in
February 27th.
Oh, they have the date now.
Mm-hmm.
How do we not get that information? Why are we invited to your meetings so we know this stuff? So February 27th is when the Deer Valley location. All right. Well, I think you would know better than we would. So I mean, we'll go for that.
Brooke knows all. It was all.
Steeler fan.
Yes.
Not in the playoffs this year. It's something you're not used to.
Those darn Jets.
Yeah, it's true. It's very true. But you feel good about the future?
Yes.
Pittsburgh Steelers, you're going to be okay?
I do.
3 minutes.
All right, so you're not giving up on them? You're not?
I like Kenny.
All right, you do. You like Kenny
rookie.
Pickett's.
I mean,
Yeah,
he did-
you're right.
You like
He
the
did good.
P-squared combination?
I do.
Pickett to Pickett's?
Yes.
Oh, it's going to be a combination for years to come.
Absolutely.
Get that running game, get that defense short up. You'll be good to go. Steelers
Well,
will be
Brooke,
good.
thank you. I know you got happy hour going on here in just a few minutes, 6 minutes to be exact. So thank you for playing as always. Good luck,
guys.
as Paul would say. Good luck, Brooke. You like that, Paul? Good job, buddy. Yeah,
And we hope you
flirt
pick up
with
on the track.
our guests.
Yeah.
You know, Paul's flirting with our guests. Again, Twin Peaks picks powered every day, or I should say every Thursday, by Coors Light and Blue Moon. Don't forget, you can text Peaks to 55678 and get entered to win that patio grill set. And again, always brought to you by Twin Peaks, Coors Light, and Blue Moon. It looks like 10-9. I think the contestants are 10-9 overall.
There was a run with the girls.
Two minutes.
There had a big run there for a while.
Is that right, Ben? Is that what you're telling me here on our show sheet? 10-9.
Yes, as the brains of this operation, I was able to calculate it, and the contestants are up by 1.
All right, so let's change that. So that is now locked in.
She was really
10-9.
not very happy. When I told her, hey, today we got the pick, she goes, I lost last time. I'm like, well, it's okay. Or no, she goes, I need to redeem myself.
She knew she lost?
She knew she lost. She was telling me, she was breaking it down for us, and she lost. I went, oh, man. So hopefully she redeems herself over Paul. That's for sure, for that $25 man card.
Yeah.
That's at
By the way, we
fan.
still have a fan pickup going on, too, so you can win $50 man cards, too. David Gradell won last week from Queen Creek. So congratulations to David. You won a $50 gift card. Every week someone wins, and we'll do it right up to Super Bowl, and then we will give away the grand prize. And I think it's a $500 Twin Peaks gift card, so that's a pretty cool prize. So we have some good prizes. Coming up in hour number 2, Howard
1 minute.
Balzer, the latest on the search for a head coach for the Arizona Cardinals, as well as a general manager. So we'll get his thoughts on that. We'll have our underdog picks of the week. This was tough.
Sure was.
I struggled, and I don't even like my pick. I hate my pick, but it was the only pick that I thought that I have a possible chance at covering with the underdog pick. So myself, Jimmy, Manu,
30.
Jax, and Ben will have that coming up about 15 minutes from now. So we'll continue on. We're at Twin Peaks in Tempe. Listen to Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B here on Fox Sports 910.
proudly sponsored by On Air Sports Marketing and is powered by the injury attorneys Lerner and Rowe. In a wreck and need a check? Make one call, that's all. 602-977-1900 and always online at lernerandrowe.com. Now time for Calling All Sports with Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B on Fox Sports.
Guys are hot.
10.
Hope you're having a great Thursday. Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B out here at the Twin Peaks in Tempe. Thanks to Coors Light and Blue Moon. It's happy hour. Just started. It'll go till 6 o'clock at all 4 Valley Twin Peaks locations as they gear up for a big weekend of NFL football. As the games all get started on Saturday afternoon into the night. The last game starting at 6:15. Then again, typically the same schedule we had last week. Well, not last week, but last year on Sundays. So it's back to the normal, the 11 o'clock window and then the 2 o'clock window and then the Sunday night game. And, of course, Monday Night Football.
Monday Night playoff football.
That was something new, right? That's something that was not
new.
seen.
Yeah.
I think they did it last year, but I don't know if it's something that they've done in years past. That I recall.
they have
Last
not.
year was the Cardinals-Rams.
Yes.
That was the first one they did that.
one.
Boy,
Yeah.
was that one of the best games to watch ever.
That's why you forgot about it, because it was...
You needed to forget about
Talk
it.
about
Jack.
that
You needed to
clunker.
forget about
That
it.
game was over at the end of the first quarter. That's how bad that game was.
Hey, I do want to pass along. We've been talking about it for quite some time, and we can't do this without our partners. And Talking Stick Resort in Casino, Arizona has been a partner of ours for 22 years. 22 years they've been supporting myself, as well as when Manuch came on board 18 years ago, before Manuch. And, of course, Monday Night Football has been a staple for us for so many years. But so has the big game on Sunday. And this year we have taken it to a whole nother level, and I'm excited to announce that us being Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B, will be hosting the big game viewing party at Talking Stick Resort. Now, we've done that in the past. However, we have not done it to this level. We are going to have a couple guys, 3 guys, that you may know, you may have heard of them. They're going to join us.
Maybe.
D'Angelo Williams, you've heard of him.
I've heard of him.
Right? Doug Flutie, you may have heard of him too.
Sure. Yeah, Flutie Flake.
And our next guest, even if you don't like football, you probably heard of this guy because he played baseball too, and that's Bo Jackson.
Bo knows.
So Bo knows Roc and Manuch Jimmy B.
Sure does. He does.
So we are excited that we have partnered with them at Talking Stick Resort, and we are going to be set in the ballroom in the Salt River Grand Ballroom. Doors will open at 2 o'clock. Tickets to get in to watch the game with us and take advantage of being able to win a lot of money, because we're going to have a jackpot that starts at $4,000 after every kickoff. We're going to have propositions, which are $100 each. During Monday Night Football, they're $25. Squares, you're going to get a set of squares, which are worth $25 for all 4 quarters. So you're going to basically be able to win your money back just for watching football. The cost, it's only $25. Now, I will say this. There's a caveat there. If you wait and you want to come the day of, it's $35. So $25 in advance, and that'll get you in. And then you can take advantage of everything else. But it's going to be an incredible day. They now have betting, so how cool it is. You're going to be able to bet in real time during the actual game with their kiosk there. They're building their big sports book right now in there. So that ballroom that showroom they have there at Talking Stick, right now they're building a huge, like something you would see in Vegas. So that's going to be pretty kick-ass. So tickets are limited, right? We only can fit so many people in there. You can either go to Ticketmaster.com, click on events and look for the big game, or just go to TalkingStickResort.com. Everything's up on our website at RocandManuch.com. But again, all the amenities, all the big screens, the cash and prizes, the squares, the props, the kickoff jackpot, and I think what's most important is the 24/7 sports betting kiosks. So we're pretty excited about that.
Jimmy B, this is like being on like Monday night tailgate party on steroids. It's incredible.
Looking
the
forward
fans,
to it. I like it.
To have these 3 outstanding individuals to be there into that point right
Are you talking
there.
about us, or are you talking about the
Bob, you know.
So, Manuch, what's your first question to Bo Jackson?
Oh, Bo, how do you know?
Please don't be that.
No,
person.
I'm just kidding right there. You know,
because then I'm taking. I would
ask
go
Bo,
down to casino.
I'd say, Bo, if you had to choose, you're phenomenal at baseball, football. If you had to choose, Then you only get one. What sport would that have been? What sport would have been the football? Would have been the baseball? If he doesn't hurt the hip, he could have been the first guy that could have been a Hall of Famer in football and baseball. I mean, had the chance, and that's
He had the
far-fetched.
chance, yes.
But if he doesn't, the power, the speed that he had, just a natural skill, and the absolute gun he had from the outfield. So I would say, all right, here's your chance. If you only had one, what would it be? That'd be my first question.
Yeah, that's a great question because you just wonder. And to your point, the whole hip injury, was a really big deal.
It
And
was.
It really. But what's interesting is life after sports. He went and got his degree at Auburn, finished that up, and got involved in doing all these guest appearances on Fresh Prince of Bel-Air and some other shows, Married with Children, and got involved with Nike and did some other things. And he did have his number retired with the Raiders. At number 34 was retired. And he's doing something similar like Jake Plummer. He's involved in CBD products.
Good for him.
There's
for
some
him.
pretty cool stuff there. So anxious to have an opportunity to meet with him again. TalkingStickResort.com, Ticketmaster.com. And again, that is the big game viewing party that we're hosting. Now, if you don't want to pay to watch the game, and I understand it, times are tough. Maybe you don't want to do that. We are offering you the opportunity to take advantage of all the stuff that we said, with the exception of those athletes. We're doing the same promotion in the showroom at Casino Arizona. So it's no cost to get in. It's first come, first serve. We got the A- team with Gross, Bauer, and Jax running the show. $4,000 starts the jackpot. $100 props. $25 squares. Everything we're doing at Talking Stick, with the exception of the athletes, it will happen there, and no cover charge.
Well, you got Jax as the athlete.
Come
What are
on.
you talking about, Rock?
But
Montana receiver?
by the way, I played golf with Bauer yesterday at TPC Scottsdale for the media deal, and and Bill Huffman and a guy named Scott Jenkins, one of the former chief Thunderbird. And I will tell you, Bauer came through when we needed. We played a full team scramble for a full person scramble, and he literally came through with some shots. I didn't think he had it in him.
Wow.
Did not see he had him. I would put money on him as a closer in a scramble.
MJB, Michael Jack Bauer, making it happen on the golf course there, huh? Maybe he's learned something on that golf show on Saturday mornings from Huffman and the boys.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think doing a golf show, it's gotten his golf game better. I wish I need to do one. Maybe my game will get better if I start talking about it for a living. Some of the storylines today: Suns last night, shorthanded, couldn't get by the Nuggets too much after a back-to-back. I think winning against the Golden State Warriors the night before, it's a good week for them. I'll take that win.
Absolutely.
I will take that win. I was just hoping that win can maybe kind of
sperm forward.
Dominate a little bit. But I have a feeling, we talked earlier about this in the first hour, that, Manuch is like, where are they going to be in the playoffs?
They'll be there.
Man.
But where we don't know.
By default, because 12 out of the 15 teams make it.
I think they probably once D Book gets back and Cam Johnson gets back and everybody gets back, they'll start to improve where they're going to end up in the playoffs. I think the biggest thing
How do you know they're going to improve?
Here's the thing. The biggest thing you want is everybody be healthy and everybody on board to move forward. And I think, quite frankly, last year, that 64-game win, I really felt that when they went into New Orleans, that very first game, number one, they might have peaked early. They might have been a little tired. I think they got out-coached a little bit, for my opinion, by Green and the Jazz. Pelicans.
Yep.
And on top of that, so maybe if there's any blessing in disguise, they can kind of recapture that. Maybe you need, 10 games, Jimmy, 15 games to get you back in sync with everybody?
About 10 games to get everybody.
But if they're moving forward.
But they're 4 games out from not making it.
Okay.
They have 21 wins. The teams at bottom, which is Oklahoma City, San Antonio, and Houston, 18, 13, and 10 wins. If they keep spiraling like they are now, they could end up in the cellar and not make the playoffs.
Well, and that's why if you're not going to get Devin Booker back within the next 2 weeks, 3 weeks, and Cam Johnson not till the end of February, then James Jones, you better go make some moves, because CP3's not coming back for at least, 2 weeks.
Right.
Campaign maybe back next week, but he's had nagging injuries. All right, so this is the hand you're dealt. Okay, then, and if Mikal Bridges can't be that consistent, you call him scorer, Jimmy,
Mm-hmm.
versus shooter. And, oh, yeah, by the way, DeAndre Ayton, he won't be back to maybe a week, if that. So if you're going to have this kind of mix and match all the time, then you better go get somebody that can score or improve where you're at right now. That being James Jones.
Who's out there? That's the thing. I mean, we've
that's the
speculated over the last 2 weeks on that.
Then you know what? Then you leave it alone. Then you got to tweak and find who can. Then you go out matchups per game basis. Go big, go small. And that's up to Monty, his staff, and his coaching to see how they mix and match from that particular point.
When do you pull? When do you pull the plug? A month from now, see if they continue to spiral like they are now.
I think
they're
play the year out.
And they're losing 9 out of 10 or 7 out of 10. When do you say, all right, time to go for the draft pick?
First of all, they won't do that when Booker comes back because he's 30 points almost every night. So he saves you from sliding all the way into the cellar. However,
can he do it all himself though?
He can when he puts up 30.
30, yeah.
And here's the caveat to that. And I understand where you're going, but the three teams that are below the Phoenix Suns, Oklahoma City, San Antonio, and Houston, they're probably going to pretty much remain where they are because what you have seen out of them is what they are. But right now, the Suns are not what the Suns are.
True.
No, when you're
Houston beat Phoenix.
Yeah. Now, they're missing guys. They're missing 85 to 90 points per
that's
game.
Correct. That's the key.
So how do you make that up? So
you can't.
You're weathering the storm. You're putting fingers in the dike all over the place.
Yep, it's Band-Aids and glue.
Absolutely. So I don't.
By the way, speaking of the Spurs, they are playing their game this week against the Golden State Warriors tomorrow night at the Alamo Dome.
Yes.
And they have sold, as of late yesterday, close to 64,000 tickets to that.
They want it to be the biggest NBA crowd ever.
Good for them.
And they will get that.
Yes.
They will get that. They already have got it because the current regular season attendance record was 62,000 when the Hawks and the Bulls played at the Georgia Dome.
Correct.
So there you have it.
Yeah. I mean, look, I've been in the San Antonio in the dome there.
So,
it's a real nice stadium.
I mean, disagree for basketball. I went to the Final Four there a few years ago, and it sucked.
It's
far.
It's like the dome in Syracuse. You can't see the team.
Well, that's any major dome stadium. So you're watching half the game up on the big screen, even though you're in the environment. So that's
brutal.
That's what you get though with the NCAA.
I know, yeah. And I mean, they tried it here, and we'll see it next year at the Final Four. But when they had the semis here before and finals, it's like, man, it's just so far. You're watching ants play basketball.
That's right.
Hey, you need a new backyard patio grill?
I do.
Chance to win one right now is text Peaks to 55678. That's Peaks to 55678. You'll be entered thanks to our friends at Twin Peaks, Blue Moon, and Coors Light. You get our once a day standard message and data rates apply. But we're all about the dogs here. Our underdog picks of the week are next. We're coming to you from the Twin Peaks in Tempe. And it's always brought to you by the new sports book in the CAZ Sports Bar in Casino, Arizona. This is Fox Sports 910.
The question is, who let the dogs out? Who let the dogs out?
Who let the dogs out?
Most weekend bettors prefer to lay their money down on favorites because they can't get their head around backing an underdog. Not Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. They're all about the dogs. Time now for the guys' dog picks of the week on Fox Sports 910.
Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B here, Twin Peaks in Tempe. Our underdog standings through today. You guys want to just read it? All right, what do you want me to do?
We get it.
You want me to do it?
Yeah, we get it. Go ahead, Roc.
The leader in the clubhouse
we know.
is myself.
Yeah,
that's Roc, R-O-C.
Yeah.
And it's when you look at the marquee, it's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. So staying with what I'm used to being first.
Yeah, don't hit your shoulder.
I'm 13-5. Manuch, not bad, 11-7. You had a great second half of the regular season.
Yes, I have.
Jimmy B, kind of like the Suns right now, just under 500.
I'm scuffling.
8-10.
Yeah.
Ben and Richie combined. Yeah, team effort, 13-5, tied with myself, which is good. And then Jack's tough. First year in the business, 5-12.
Yeah,
5-12.
Yeah, I had a close loss last weekend.
So last
we
week,
really just glossed over that about me being tied with Roc, but okay.
Did you hear what's on the marquee? Your name's not even on there. Your name doesn't even make the with or featuring or whatever.
You're lucky you're playing.
That's
You're
not
probation, man. What are you talking about?
So last week I took the 13.5 with the Giants. I went with the Giants, won that. Manuch Bucks at Falcons. He took the Bucks and fell. Jimmy Chiefs at Raiders. Raiders 9.5 at home. Lost that one.
Big time.
Titans plus 6.5 at Jags. Ben won that one. So we had 2 wins. And then Jax went with TCU.
I think Georgia just scored again.
Which everybody I know is on TCU. I lost those bets too. So I don't feel bad for that. All right. So let's look at this week. So overall, we are 2-3 as a group. Again, these are underdog picks, and it has to be 3 or more to be an underdog.
Right.
So let's get started with this week's picks.
Let's start with the guy who grew up playing tennis, and his dog Guinness beat him last year in the fan pickup.
Hey guys, you ready to let the dogs out?
Roc, you got a lock?
I will say this. I thought this was hard. We all went with wild card games, Saturday and Sunday.
Yes.
All pretty close. But even the spreads that are so high, for me, still feel that the teams that are favored are going to blow them out. Like I think San Francisco is going to blow out Seattle. I think the Ravens are going to get blown out by the Bengals. There's no way Buffalo's losing to the Miami Dolphins without Tua. Teddy Bridgewater's not going to be able to do it. So with that all being said, regretfully, I'm going with the Giants for the second week in a row, +3 in Minnesota. I do think I'm going to lose that one. There's no other ones I think make sense.
I think if there's
Manuch,
Go ahead.
Manuch, you played the game, so this should be a no-brainer.
All my dogs.
Give us your dog of the week.
The Ravens at the Bengals. It just went up. We found out that Lamar Jackson is not going to be playing. Reportedly not going to be playing. It's gone up to -9.5. The Bengals are favored. I'm just hoping. I'm hoping, and not to your point, Roc, that the Ravens defense can find it somewhere because they typically play fairly well in the playoff games. That they get whomever is their quarterback. And it's hopefully not Anthony Brown. Probably Hundley will play that. But I'm going to take the Ravens to cover this. -9.5, especially with that Ravens defense. I got to feel the Bengals, they win it, but not by 9.5.
Yeah,
Finally, he's not Jimmy the Greek, but he's been calling the game for over 40 years.
What about the dogs? What about the dogs?
Jimmy B, what's your underdog pick of the week?
Well, I'm going to go in an opposite direction, and I think the Seahawks, in a lot of books, it's 9.5, and some of them now it's up to 10. So I'll see if Jax can research that. It is up to 10?
Okay. DraftKings right now has it at 9.5.
Okay.
On ESPN, it says it's 10.
they don't know anything about sports. It's just an entertainment sports network.
That is true.
DraftKings is all about the betting.
9.5.
The wise guys.
Yes, they go.
ESPN's trying to get ratings.
Yeah, they are.
That's all they're doing.
So I'm going to roll with the Seahawks against the San Francisco 49ers. The weather is supposed to be awful in the Bay Area. It's supposed to be really windy, really rainy, and then maybe they get a little bit of a break on Sunday when they play this game.
But the Purdy factor.
Well, I understand the Purdy factor, but what does Seattle generally do? They play in lousy, wet weather all the time. I grew up there. I know. It rains.
The game's Saturday, Jimmy.
Oh, it's Saturday?
Yeah, it's Saturday.
What the hell? I don't care. I'm still taking the 9.5.
The rain and wind's coming on Saturday.
It is coming on Saturday.
It's actually going to be sunny and 70 on Saturday.
Sunday.
No, it's going to be. It's really supposed to be bad weather.
Bad weather game on Saturday.
Yes, that's it.
All right, Ben and Richie. Ben, what do Richie want to go with?
Well, we discussed about it this morning. We also talked about what we're going to wear today. So if you see him around, he should look a lot like me. But Jimmy got it right. Pretty much down to the core. I love that pick this week of 9.5. I like it better at 10 if you can get it there. But 9.5, he hit it right on the head, basically. It's going to be bad weather. The Niners have to blow out the Seattle Seahawks for a third time for this to happen. That's not going to happen. Also, Jody Ayler mentioned this morning. I thought it was a huge deal that no one's talking about. No one knows how Brock Purdy is going to play a rookie in the playoffs in his first playoff attempt.
Good point.
He can come out very shaken, and I think that's a great possibility. I think he's going to get outplayed this weekend by Geno, but I'll take the Niners to win, but the Seattle Seahawks to cover.
Yeah, it's a good point. Manuch never played the playoffs, so how could he coach?
Time out. I did play in the playoffs.
Not a scab game.
No. San Diego Chargers. January 5th, 1981.
You held the ball.
I know.
I held the clipboard.
I had.
How long were you in? There's no stats for you on that game.
Go to playoff game 1981, January 1981, San Diego Chargers.
Jackson Lewis line.
Yeah,
Lewis line.
I had, I think, 18 yards rushing in that game. I had a 12-yard run.
Was it like garbage time?
Yeah, the thing with the one clip you're in. Manucci runs out of bounds.
That was K-State.
There's another one with me in a playoff game against the San Diego Chargers.
You said 1981, January 3rd.
January 3rd.
I've got it.
I got this.
I lost my
All right. So Dan Manucci, he was in 0 for 1.
Yep. What's my rushing yards?
2 yards rushing.
No, not 2.
Sorry. 2 attempts for 21 yards.
There you go.
Yeah. 15 was his long.
There you go.
All right, so the starting quarterback in the playoffs opposed to coming in to rush when the game was over under 2 minutes.
No, it wasn't over. No, I came in off the.
You really think that classifies as playing in a playoff game?
Well, he was there.
He was there. Quarterback.
How many yards rushing did I had at one time? The
21
highest,
yards.
Yeah, 2 rushes, 21
yards.
Okay, do the math. That's you got 2. You got 10 yards.
You're running for your life.
At one time there was
wasn't a planned run. I bet it was like, hey, I want you to throw a bomb to whoever, and the rush came and you ran. It was holding on to one of those plays.
It was north left sprint left. And as I rolled out the left side, it was covered, so I cut back across the grain. At one time, I had the most yards per average per run for a quarterback in a playoff game at 10.5 yards per carry.
But shouldn't there be a minimum of how many carries you have?
You
had 2.
If he had 1, that average, that
he was the punter had that many. I think that game.
He had a cup of coffee. 10 yards per average in a playoff game, Rock.
So what advice are you going to give Brock Purdy from your 2 runs in a playoff game?
When you run, get out of bounds or slide, whatever that is.
Jax, real quick, who you go with?
I'm going with you. I think the Giants. That's the only one that really intrigues me.
Good. Yeah, you're learning.
Jax, let me read that stat again in my playoff.
0 for 1 as a quarterback.
Yeah, so 2 carries for 21 yards along of 15 yards.
There you go. Where you at, Rock? There's that playoff.
Long of 15.
Yeah, 15-yard rush. Should have cut back inside and scored. It probably would have.
What position did you play?
I was quarterback, man.
Oh, okay.
Should have cut back inside. Might have scored. As Fox ran by me at chicken S, and I just, I'm out of bounds. I'm good. So there you go.
It's funny how you old timers just you gravitate to that one play in your life.
Man. You hang on to it forever.
And you're around like, this one time,
brother. 15 minutes of fame. Where you at?
Howard Balzer will join us next.
Howard remembers.
I'm sure he does. He'll know that stat.
Damn right.
For quarterbacks in the playoffs. For how long did you own that stat for the most yards as a quarterback rushing the ball?
I think until this guy named Michael Vick and Randall Cunningham came on the scene.
Oh man!
But playoff game per average rush, Rock. That's it, right there.
It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Fox Sports 910.
Well, what I'm willing to do financially is get the best coach and the best GM. I don't know the biggest name correlates to the best coach. So I guess what I would say is I definitely want to make sure that we get the best coach and the best general manager for this team and get this team turned around as fast as we can. I'm not going to get into details of any of the
guys are hot. 10 seconds.
We're reaching out to other than to acknowledge that I've done the 2 interviews with one with Adrian, one with Quentin.
Michael Bidwell, owner of the Cardinals, joining us now, Cardinals and NFL reporter for PHNX, Howard Balzer. You can follow him on Twitter at hbalzer721. He joins us now on the right to it, a guest on here on Fox Sports 910. Howard, how you making out today?
I'm doing well. Hanging in there through all this craziness. It's always fun when you're tracking a hiring, so that's always a fun thing for us people. But it adds a little spice to the off season.
What's going to happen first, a general manager or a head coach?
I would that's a good question, but I would suspect that they're going to know pretty quickly, I would think, whether they have a legit shot at Sean Payton. And because if that would happen, then I would expect that Sean Payton would be very involved with the search for a general manager in terms of who it would be. If that doesn't happen with Payton, then I would think it would have to be the general manager first, because if you're giving your general manager any kind of power and control, then he wants to be a guy that's involved in the hiring of a coach. And so that would put obviously a certain amount of urgency into getting that general manager so you can really accelerate the process for the head coach. Now, one positive is that there's not that many openings this year. There's been some off seasons in the last few years where there's been 8, 9, 10 openings. And that becomes pretty crazy with all the different teams that are looking for someone. But with not as many this year, at least at this point, that can minimize a little bit the urgency of getting that head coach when you're not necessarily competing for the same guy with a bunch of teams.
It looks as though the bidding for one Sean Payton Houston, they've got quite a few picks. You got Denver, Arizona, as far as know, who have had permission to talk to Sean Payton. All that being said, could this get bid up to where, and the only precedent we have is what the Raiders got from Tampa Bay for the John Gruden trade from Oakland going to Tampa. All that being said, let's say if the numbers match for the teams, but Sean Payton doesn't want to go to that place because he feels it's the right fit. Could we see that as well with this?
Oh yeah, no, absolutely, and that's the one thing that's in all this. I mean, he's going to talk to anybody who asks, because all that does is help his leverage. But certainly in the back of his mind, I am sure that he has certain teams that he would most prefer, and I think the Cardinals become a somewhat desirable place because of the general manager situation. The other teams have general managers. So I don't see a team just say, okay, we got Sean Payton, so we're firing our general manager. I guess you never know in the NFL. Nothing would surprise me anymore. But, I don't think that would happen where he can craft that personnel. And I think a lot of times, guys, I've written a story. It'll be up soon on Go PHNX, that we all focus on the general manager, like it's a one-man show. I was looking it up today, and the Cardinals, counting Steve Keim for 2022, had 10 personnel executives and 13 scouts. So you're talking about whoever the general manager is responsible for that entire department. And so that becomes a rebuilding aspect of this. Some scouts could possibly stay. Who knows? But, some of the people could keep their jobs. But that's all up to the new general manager. And so, there's a lot to do with that. And so, but, like I said, I think if Payton has that, that juice to, get the GM in there that he knows he likes, that he can work with, and then can get that quality staff, then I think that would be, something that he would like.
What do you hear on wide receiver DeAndre Hopkins after he posted on his Twitter and Instagram accounts about, Goodbye, Arizona, pretty much is what he said.
Seems like a done deal as far as he's concerned there, Howard.
Well, it's easy to say it's a done deal, but as I wrote in this story that'll be up soon, there's a lot of moving pieces to it that include compensation and draft picks, that include contract situation in terms of the salary cap and dollars. But here's a major question I have. I mean, I think that a certain amount of what's driving this is DeAndre Hopkins looking at the current situation and saying, hey, I'm going to be 31 years old. I want to spend my last few years with a truly competitive team. Well, does he? If that is the case, does he change his thinking if the Cardinals get Sean Payton? Because all of a sudden and that again is if Sean Payton would want to keep him, then does that change things? I mean, who knows? I mean, all of this stuff. I mean, I'm sure that his wants, and he has a no trade clause, so he can basically orchestrate where he ends up going. But that has to be a team that's willing to give up whatever the compensation would be, pay him not only what's left on his current contract, but probably guarantee some of the money and maybe add years to it. And I don't know how realistic that all is when you have the number of quality receivers that come into the draft every year. And I realize that Hopkins is a proven guy, but he's also a guy that, like I said, is 31, has had injuries the last 2 seasons. And so that would affect, I would think, the teams that would potentially be interested in him.
Well, and Howard, that's the only thing we could think of when this all broke yesterday, Jimmy and I and Rock, is that this is strategic to get whatever picks you can to compile those in order to have a shot at Sean Payton, unless we're reading it wrong.
Well, here's the thing. That story broke let's remember, that story broke with the same person who was the one that linked the photos together of Sean Kugler and Steve Keim, and putting out the insinuation that it was really Steve Keim that did what Sean Kugler was alleged to have done.
Right.
He's not exactly a well-known and well-respected, quote, insider in the NFL world. And so, but all he's basically saying, and I don't think there's any doubt, I don't believe that Michael Bidwell is telling GMs that he's going to hire, or even a head coach, that, hey, DeAndre Hopkins is going to be traded no matter what you say. And so a lot of it will be up to the GM in terms of what they do. And once again, like I said, suppose the new regime wants DeAndre Hopkins and he feels, okay, well, that sounds pretty good to me. It doesn't mean he will, but if he does, you still have to you can't just give him away. And I realized that the Cardinals made a great deal 3 years ago when they got DeAndre, and that was mainly because of the contract situation. So I don't see them getting any better than a second-round pick, and it might not be better than a third-round pick.
Sure.
Because like I said, he's going to be 31 years old. So anyway, like I said, at the top, there's a lot of moving pieces to this, but that story breaking yesterday, I don't think really said anything different than what many of us have thought for several weeks. I'm sure Michael Bidwell is telling the GM and the coach, if in fact DeAndre Hopkins has requested a trade, that he's requested it, and that that he's told them that, you guys feel it's the best thing for the organization, then you can trade him. I'm sure if there's any conversations, that's all that it has been. But again, we don't know what DeAndre Hopkins how he will react if all of a sudden the Cardinals can hit it big and convince the Sean Payton.
3 minutes.
Howard, now you've been doing this for many, many years. When you look at the available, you got 28 plus unrestricted free agents and over 30 some free agents with this Cardinals franchise, and for that new GM to come in here and take a look at that, have you ever seen? As I said, many years, this many restricted, unrestricted free agents on one team at the end of a year and looking for a new coach and a new GM?
I've seen long lists of that, and when you look at the Cardinals list,
2 minutes.
Probably underline 6 or 7 that you would say are key players to have back. And let's remember, a whole bunch of those guys are guys they signed either in the off season or training camp or even during the season because of the injuries. It's only signed 1-year contract. And so you sign a 1-year contract, and guess what? You're going to be a free agent the following year. So, and I think if you looked at it, I forget the exact number, but I think the number of unrestricted guys, which I think right now is actually over 30.
Yes.
But I think the number for the Cardinals was pretty high last year also because of the guys that were on one-year contracts. And like I said, when you look at this current list, I mean, how many guys do you say, oh, that's a guy you really care about? You know, Zach Allen, yes. Byron Murphy Jr., yes. And maybe a handful of others that are, pretty good depth pieces. But, there's not that many. Kelvin Beachum, perhaps. Yes. But and who knows what the new coach will think about that. I mean, the guy's a pretty good player, but he's going to be 33 years old. Or maybe, whatever it's going to be, might be 34 this year. So point being is that there's not that many of truly crucial guys that you would be like, really having a hard time have to replace if they left. But you do want to keep Zach Allen, obviously. But here's another question, guys, that no one even talks about. And Sean Payton, what defense will this team play, whoever the new coach is? And how will the current players fit in that defense?
Mm-hmm.
And so, hell, I wasn't here then, but we saw when Steve Wilkes came in, they took a roster that was 3-4 guys and tried to turn them into 4-3 guys. And that's not easy to do overnight because a lot of the players you had before in that scheme don't fit. Then they fired Steve Wilkes and went back to a 3-4. So it's pretty crazy. But that becomes, part of it too. Certainly with a Zach Allen, where I think he's the type of guy who would probably fit in either a 3-4 or a 4-3. But yeah, they like him back. They like Murphy. But like I said, how many other guys? To me, guys, one of the biggest questions is what happens with Hollywood Brown. I have that in my story I wrote today. He's entering the final year of his contract on a 5th-year option of $13 million. Has he shown anything that tells you that he's worth a contract worth $20 million a year?
No.
Suppose he wants a new deal. Suppose he holds out or holds in or any of that. I mean, like I said, there's so many on there. There's so many items and so many things that this team is going to have to face in this coming off season that it would take a long time to talk about them all.
PHNX.com. You can see the stories that Howard has check it out with stories, defense, all there at gophnx.com. Howard, thank you as always. Appreciate it.
Guys, take care. Talk to you later.
You can also follow him on Twitter at hbalzer721. So just search Howard Balzer. Has been covering the Cardinals for 40 years.
Well, in St. Louis for many, many years. Yeah, he's back here now. You just hear him break it all down. What a mess. This organization's a mess.
It's a total mess.
I mean, you look at I know
but you are okay with trading all the draft picks that they have.
Not all the draft picks. I'd have no trouble taking
They don't have any. They have 5.
I would throw in this year's number 3.
Throw in the number 3
Absolutely.
for Sean Payton.
Damn right I would. See Bill Belichick.
Don't you
see
think
Tom Landry. Successful coaches.
But they have successful owners. They had some big-time owners that have won before. Cardinals have never won before. They've never won. You got to remember, New England had been there. They were a bad team for a long time before Belichick, but they were pretty competitive for many, many years.
Under the Gillette ownership.
New York Giants, same thing.
Sure.
They were very successful too.
Yeah.
So, I mean, Cardinals don't have the pedigree there to be able to say, all right, I can do that because we have the history of winning.
But
they don't.
You can win without top-round draft picks. It's been proven, Rock, with good coaching. Good, so you got to have dudes. I get it. You got to have guys, but
they don't have anybody.
But they exactly. So you know what?
You got to help. You got to get through the draft.
Go to ground zero now. You're going to take you 2-3 years to get there.
But why wouldn't you trade the number 3 pick and get more picks get 2 first round and a couple seconds?
Because I got a guy that knows how to build a team to win a Super Bowl. They ain't done that here yet.
If you take away all his draft picks, he ain't got anything.
So how many?
You're telling me he's not going to want to come in here and he'd want to have that 3rd pick?
How have the last 3 top picks for the Cardinals done? Isaiah Simmons, we're still waiting. Xavier Collins, we're still waiting. Trey McBride last year.
Murray,
we're waiting.
Kyler
Murray. Okay, off and on. Is he truly a franchise guy?
We'll find out. We'll continue. It's Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B from Twin Peaks Tempe.
If you're looking for a full-service law firm, just make one call. That's all. 602-977-1900. Lerner and Rowe, voted Arizona's best law firm.
I mean, he's going to talk to anybody who asks, because all that does is help his leverage. But certainly in the back of his mind, I am sure that he has certain teams that he would most prefer. And I think the Cardinals become a somewhat desirable place because of the general manager situation. The other teams have general managers. So I don't see a team just say, okay, we got Sean Payton, so we're firing our general
guys are hot.
manager. I guess you never know in the NFL. Nothing would surprise me anymore. But, I don't think that would happen.
Tyler Balzer earlier, like 2 minutes ago, here on Roc and Manuch, Jimmy B, giving his take on the Cardinals and the future of the Cardinals regarding picks and general managers and head coaches and all that. And hopefully we'll hear something sooner than later, and then we can spend the rest of the offseason talking about who they need to pick up in the draft or in free agency.
And if they even get Sean Payton, who's the next guy to go to? Is
sure
Harbaugh? You go after this guy, that guy? What assistant defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator that's in the National Football League right now?
They need a transfer portal. I mean, that is free agency. But if there was a transfer portal in the National Football League, because there are a lot of guys that are not happy with the team they're on.
Right.
That's
like
true.
DeAndre Hopkins.
Yeah.
You go in the transfer portal.
Yeah.
And you got to get something for it. You got to something, in return.
Nowadays you do, and especially the kind of money these guys are making, that team he wants to go to or looking to go to has got to be able to look at their cap space and make sure it's amenable for that individual to go to. And hell, I mean, you look at if DeAndre goes to Chicago or whatever, what are you going to get in return? I mean, if this whole thing with Sean Payton falls apart and you really feel focused about getting some extra draft picks, as you mentioned, Rock, okay, so Payton out aside, if we want to trade DA, what other picks can we get? Can we get a 1 and can we get a 3 and just start building with your draft picks with whomever the coach is going to be?
I still think Houston has the edge because they have 2 first-round picks this year and next year because they have the Browns picks. So, this year it's what, 2 and 12.
Yeah.
So they seem like they would have some more leverage with the Saints if that was an area that, or I should say a team that Sean Payton wants to go to. Hey, here's what's on tap, which is powered every day by 72 Sold, America's leading home selling program. Everyone knows the house sales market, home sales market, easy for me to say, is getting tougher. Number of sales are down, prices are down, but 72 Sold still is getting top dollar for their customers. You make a mistake if you go to any other route. Don't go the traditional route. Go the 72 Sold route. Go to 72sold.com. Get your price, a higher price at 72sold.com. Senators are here in town in Tempe to play the Yotes. That'll be on Valley Sports at 7 o'clock. FS1 will have Arizona State at Oregon. That is at 7 o'clock. And then at 9 o'clock, the Wildcats and the Beavers in Oregon State, that is at Oregon State. That'll be on ESPN2 and ESPNU.
Speaking of Sean Payton, our State 48 Roofing, get your call question of the day. Should the Cardinals give up the 3rd pick in the draft as part of the Sean Payton compensation? Just go to @Roc and Manuch on Twitter. You can either answer yes and or no. Currently, no. 77.8%. 22.2% are saying yes.
They're in your corner, Rock. They don't want that. They agree with you right now.
I really it doesn't happen very often.
Right.
Of course, we've talked about it. Gruden, Parcells, Belichick. It has happened.
Mm-hmm.
As much help as this team needs to give up 4 picks possibly, like Gruden was 2 first, 2 second.
Mm-hmm.
To give up that many picks, mortgage your future, I just struggle with it.
Well, the thing I look at who's going to be more impactful the next 5 years. Is it that head coach?
Could be that number 3 pick overall.
Could be. You
got to come in here.
I know
Anderson and
I know
for the town.
I know for a fact because draft picks are always iffy at best. Never going to get.
Even a first or a second usually plays.
Okay,
in some cases.
If you look at the National Football League, you would.
You could probably make a case that there's more successes in the first or second than there are not.
I would say this. I think a head coach that's been there, done that, understands it'd be more impactful initially for this team. They can help build and create with the general manager to go get some guy to make that happen. I would look at that.
Be a general manager, you need some picks to kind of wheel and deal with, and you don't have any.
Hey,
it's dry.
You need players, but for that first couple of years, you bite the bullet, and just build with the guy that knows how to get that done.
We'll do it again tomorrow, 1 o'clock at Roy Toyota. I want to thank Twin Peaks, Coors Light, Blue Moon for having us. Don't forget, text Peaks to 55678. Get in for that grill that we're giving away day after Super Bowl. So good stuff there.
10.
A lot of big stuff going on for Roc and Manuch with Jimmy B. Everything's up on our website at Roc and Manuch. Have a good Thursday night. We'll see you tomorrow.